All right, I think we're live. We got the live counter going. What's happening, Fish and Friends? Welcome to another live. I've got a fun live tonight. No Randizzle. Unfortunately, Randizzle's losing his voice. I'm losing my voice. I don't know why. No correlation. We have not been together anywhere near each other for the past 2 weeks. He's ditched me for his old lady, as we talked about. I figured we wouldn't even see Randall back on the channel. Randall, I was taking applications for other people to join you, Randy 2.0. But I got him hooked up as moderator, so he'll be moderating in the comments. Hopefully that works. I didn't switch over and check on YouTube. I'm sure he'll text me. All I can see is I do it from StreamYard, so all I can see is the StreamYard comments. But tonight, the man that we've had on before, Mr. Bass, this way, right? Whoop,
hey,
Mr. Bass. Going? And Steve. What up? Get your fish on. New to the channel, never had Steve on before. So tonight I'm sure we're gonna go down some rabbit holes. I honestly didn't have anything planned for tonight, so I don't even remember what I named the stream, like searching for answers or fishing answers or
truth.
Fishing for the truth.
Yeah, fishing for the truth.
Heck yeah, amen. I'm always looking for the truth.
I was telling Mr. Bass before, I'm like, I don't even know. We're gonna go all over the place anyway, so I just thought of something random and put them up. So we who knows where we're gonna go. But for everyone that doesn't know you two, let's just do quick 30-second intros and tell them who you are, what you're doing. Mr. Bass, I know you've been on the channel, but go ahead and start first.
All right. Well, why don't I mix it up? I'll tell you about Steve, and Steve can tell you about me.
I like it.
Steve and I are buddies, and we're partners in crime. We have a show on Wednesday nights that we do together, the Get Your Fish On Mr. Bass Show. Very clever title. And we're just YouTubers that love fishing that hooked up together, and we have a great time together. Steve has a very unique past and present when it comes to the fishing industry. In fact, I'd say he's probably has kind of a unique niche that no other YouTuber has. He's been actively involved in every facet of the fishing business, from professional fishing to lure making to just every part of it for more than 15 years now, right, Steve? Isn't it about 15 years or so?
12 years with a live radio show, too.
Yeah, he had a live radio show called Florida Fishing Radio that was really the #1 fishing show in Florida for a long time, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah.
And then nationwide, I think it did really well also. He knows all the pros all know him. He's got them all on speed dial. He can call KVD right now if we want to talk to him.
We can.
Wow. Let's not do that. I don't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
Another news, some YouTuber DEBO was arrested for stalking Kevin Van Dam.
He also is a family man. He's got an 11-year-old son named Thomas. And the only reason I'm sharing that is because he shares it with the world. It's not private. He is Mr. Dad, man. He works full-time from home. And every time I call him, he's taking the kid fishing or swimming or to school or wherever. Really impressive there. Life. He's got a great YouTube channel. One unique thing he does, because he's got so many connections with the lure industry out there, is he does these things called closer looks. And if you hear about a new bait out there and you think, man, I wonder what that's about, all you got to do is go to his channel, and he's probably got like a 5-minute video on all the details. He shows underwater footage. He's really amazing. And he's also an incredible video editor. I mean, that's kind of professionally. He spends a lot of time editing videos for all kinds of people that you've heard of behind the scenes. So Steve's an awesome guy. If you've never checked out his channel, you got to run over to Get Your Fish On. Subscribe to that channel. I think you'll really, really enjoy it. So that's Steve in a nutshell. Steve Chapman, Get Your Fish On. Oh, he's a huge advocate for fishing kids. Fishing with kids, getting kids fishing. In fact, he did one of those Monster Bass collab boxes like you did, Debo. I know yours was really popular. His was really popular too, but all of his proceeds he had Monster Bass send to fishing charities for kids.
That's awesome, dude. Wow. Yeah. I used all the money I got to send out giveaways.
Nice.
In two postal mailings.
Sweet.
Well, if you don't know Mr. Bass, he is the king of you can call Howard Stern the king of media. Mr. Bass is the king of subscription box openings.
That's for sure.
He does them all. I have considered not doing any because I think he does a better job than I do. He does. He has a lot of live feeds where he's interactive with people and answers questions. He loves fishing. He, as you can see behind him, I'm going to be honest here. I think he knows more about baits than I do, and that scares me. He's a great guy. He's a gentleman, hard worker, and his channel is phenomenal. He has one of those few channels that I don't miss anything on. I try to get on his live feeds and participate. He's honest. He just does it. He just does it well, and I'm very happy to do the show with him on Wednesday and help introduce him to the anglers that I know. Because I mean, most of the time, as soon as we're done doing it, I send him I send the anglers information to him so he can text them if he wants to afterwards. Even though I don't think we did it last time with Edwin or whoever was, or Jimmy the last time. But we've had good interviews on there, and it's fun to go on the show and participate and just share some of the knowledge that I have. But he's a great dude, great angler, and has a great channel. And if you haven't been on Mr. Bass's channel, you really need to go check it out.
Yeah,
I like that.
What's the conspiracy going on here, Dan?
I don't know, Dan. I don't know,
How the
Dan.
hell am I even going to follow up with any of this? Jeez, ew.
I like Dan's style. He's yeah, for sure.
I feel like the third wheel here. I'm actually going to just close my page and let you guys do the live on my channel.
Well, here's the thing about DEBO'S page. You could put my channel and Steve's channel together, and we don't even scratch the surface.
You actually can fart more. You can fart more subscribers than we have.
Exactly. No, that's right.
That's just a number.
And congratulations to you on that too, by the way. I shouldn't making fun of you.
It's it's all in good fun. I was gonna say you guys introduced me, but I don't even know what the hell you would say, so I'm not even gonna go down that road.
Dude, I was watching.
Let us start on DEBO. Well, Mr. Bass had ripped my organization behind me. He's like, first off, DEBO needs to learn how to organize.
You do have a lot of stuff back there. I was watching your videos today while I was editing, and I was like, damn,
So for those of you that don't know, Steve is actually on Randy's internet, though. Using that Walmart internet. Oh, there we go. You froze for a second.
We locked you for a sec, Steve. You froze up.
I mean, you know what that means. Thomas is back on Netflix. I was saying, I've only seen one person that has more rods behind him than you ever in my life.
Tackle Junkie.
Oh, I haven't seen Tackle Junkie. Have you ever met Patrick Sabile?
Like the Sabile lure guy?
Yeah.
No.
He has 6,300 rods at his house.
Yeah, well, that's a lot.
Just in case he ever runs out. It's got a backup.
Yeah.
I have nothing close to that. Wow. All right. So I don't even know where we're going. So Mr. Bass, we were talking beforehand. We're like, what are we going to talk about? Mr. Bass brought up something cool. And before I do that, I guess I should say giveaways. I do have a couple giveaways I'm going to do. I've got a couple extra DEBO customs here that I painted up, some iridescent white crappies.
Sweet.
Kind of cool. And then I'm just going to throw some boxes of stuff together, probably be like $50 worth of stuff. If y'all looked over, those hooks are sharp. If y'all looked over here, there's a whole bunch of stuff I've been trying to organize, and I can't find like a way that I really love. So it's just a big mess still. But anyway, I'm going to throw in some random stuff, do a couple of those. Last week, I did a couple of $50 Tackle Warehouse gift cards, and I'm like, this is going to be the way to do it. This will be awesome. I'm just getting their, the electronic gift cards. It still took like a week for them to send the electronic gift cards. So it was no better. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know.
Steve, we've got the same problem. We gave a bunch of gift cards away on Wednesday that Steve has access to through Tackle Warehouse, and we're still waiting on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a minute. It's like they don't give them to you until they fill your order. Like it would be like when they ship it, that's when it gets filled. So I figured it'd be like right away, like you buy it and you would just get it. But Oh, well. So I'll be doing a couple giveaways. You don't have to donate or anything. Anybody that does donate, I always appreciate it. I never ask for money, but I appreciate that a lot. So I'll throw each of those in with some gear, and then we'll do the random comment picker that Mr. Bass showed, or that Fishing with Gramps showed me, that I always thank him for, because that makes my life so much daggum easier. And I did see, we'll get to a couple comments here. Fish Daddy with the donation. Thank you very much. Which basement would you want to raid supermarket sweep style? Oh, dude, that was always a game I wanted to play when I was younger.
Oh, man, you're not kidding.
How
That
cool
would
would
be
it
a
be to just go
blast.
take like all these like Cheez-Its, and I would run and raid Mr. Bass's. No lie. Look at all that cool stuff he's got.
I definitely would be a much wealthier man if I didn't fish.
It's not easier. It's not easier.
Jeez Louise. It's why I haven't gotten into hunting, man, because I cannot afford to be a hunter. I can barely afford to be a fisherman. And because I can't say no. If I see something cool, I got to go get it. And that's just the way I roll.
Let's see what else. So Arthur, thank you very much. Arthur's a good guy. Arthur's into the soft bait making. So if guys and gals are looking to check out that, go check out his Instagram. He does a bunch of that stuff. And I think I saw one more. Neil, my guy Neil, another good supporter. Debo will send you a threatening letter if you do not subscribe to his channel. He will tell you how he's trained in MMA. Pretty scary stuff. That's a whole different life ago, dude. That's a long Debo ago. I am overweight now and not in fight shape, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Neil, I always appreciate you though. Thanks, brother, for supporting. Chuck and Colleen, new members. Thank you. I think I've seen a bunch of people in here. We know Fishing with Gramps. Of course, Randall's in there. Al, we got a bunch of people. So let's start it off. What do you guys want to talk about? What did both of you bring? Did you bring anything fun?
Well, Paul's asking about this Thunderhawk A10 square bill. Have you seen that thing? He's right. It's pretty crazy looking. You got one handy, Steve? You can show him.
It means I have to go in the garage.
I do have one.
I got one in the garage. I got one in the garage too. When I first saw that thing, I was like, "What is that?" I mean, you can tell it's a square bill, and this is kind of one of those funny things where you think to yourself, "A square bill is a square bill is a square bill. How can you make a square bill different?" And then, lo and behold, Mike does it, or Hawk, or somebody. I think Mike designed that A10.
I don't know. I can't show you.
I like Thunderhawk. I like the fact that Thunderhawk's really behind the military. They really support the military. All of their lures are named after something military. The A10, of course, is an airplane. The Thunderbolt. I think it's called the A10 Thunderbolt. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Hog, yep.
Or Hog, yeah.
The guys at Thunderhawk are absolutely amazing. I was able to test that lure before it came out, and one of the things that they were trying really hard to do was to make sure that the half ounce was the same size as the 3/4 ounce, but also they wanted it so when it landed on the seafloor or ran that it would nose down. And when we were testing it, he was actually putting it in a pool with like one of those old fold up chairs that has the foam, and he would run the bait and hit it so that it wouldn't stick, so it wouldn't get snagged. So there's a lot of great things about that, like the swiveling hooks are amazing, being the size, the silent one, the rattling one, and more. I mean, is that the A10, or is that the
square bill?
Yeah, that's the square. The lipless one is the one I'm talking about. Oh, okay. I'm talking about the lipless one. That one too. Both of them are
the rattle and the silent. Yeah, I think the rattle's like 3/4 ounce, right? And then
and that other one's half ounce.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I may or may not be having some more of this stuff coming in.
I know for a fact you do have more of it coming in.
So one of the thing on these sergeants,
yes,
Steve,
that's what I was talking.
Do you know, Steve? He says that these things will sit nose down, and they'll actually sit on the bottom straight up.
Yeah, like that. They spend a lot of time trying to make sure that if you hit a tree stump or a brush or anything, that the A10 and the Sergeant wouldn't get hung up. They swim so much nose down that the hooks kind of go up and kind of aren't exposed. And they really are fantastic. They're really, really a great bait. And like I said, Debo, I know for a fact you're getting like a ton.
There's the A10.
Yeah.
It's just
a little bit different shape too. You know, that nose is something we haven't ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like you never see the baits where the actual lip is painted. Like besides warts. I mean, warts are the big one, but it's, I always wonder why not just make the whole thing like a color scheme, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to chip off on the front, I guess, would be the only downside, but still it's like, it gives everything like a whole fluid look, you know, instead of like a big clear lip in front.
This ghost bluegill color is really sick too, man. I think that's really sweet.
They spent a lot of time making that bait. There was like, I think they sent me some of the test ones, and I remember emailing Hawk overseas and going, these things look great. And then the next day, or you know, not next day, the next shipment that came in, they were all the new painted stuff, and I was like, these are really fantastic. And I actually think I did you spill something? I thought you spilled your drink.
No, I was going to grab Matthew Acevedo said, but that build design is similar to the old Lazy Ikes. And I was like, dude, yes. And I just had my box of old stuff. I forgot I moved it for the retro thing. But yeah, I had some of the old Lazy Ikes that used to be made here in Fort Madison, Iowa, or Fort Dodge, actually. But yeah, they have that where it's like the whole, I'll grab one real quick because yes.
Yeah, great. They do great work. And I think the best thing about them is and I don't know the prices. I could be wrong. I think they're priced pretty well, and that helps too.
For sure.
Do you know how much the price was on that? On those?
On what?
Which one?
On that A10 and the lipless. They're not crazy expensive, are they?
$9.99 on the lipless, and I think the A10 is the same. Yeah, they're all $9.99.
Oh, that's good.
Which isn't horrible because they come with really good hooks. That's what I was showing when I was on with Hella Bass. He was showing off the stuff too, and I had some that I was showing here. That's what I was telling him about, you know, the rotating hook hangers, and they come with really good hooks, good paint schemes. I don't mind when they come, you know, everything ready, but that's an old Lazy Ike, but you can see what I was talking about, how the whole lure, Matthew, you know, very, very correct. But yeah, that's cool. Old Fort Dodge where they used to be made.
The old Lazy Ike. That's a good Ike lure.
And they catch anything. I threw those.
Yeah,
this was what, a whopping 47 cents back in the day. That's a little too expensive for my blood. 47 cents. Come on. Mega Bass jerkbaits. I have not gotten to the Mega Bass jerkbait craze. I can't spend $25 on a jerkbait. I'm sure both these gentlemen have a bunch, but I was gifted my first Mega Bass Vision 110, and that's the only one I own. A subscriber sent it to me.
I got tons of them.
I have two, and they send them to me for free, and I did a closer look. And while I think they're fantastic, I have an issue when they start getting like the $15 range. Like, I hate having to purchase a jackhammer at $15, even though I will purchase them every time. But once you get to that $15 range, I start feeling like you need to give me something else with the lure.
Yeah,
it is kind of funny when you think about perceived value versus price when it comes to lures, because the $25 is expensive for a jerkbait. Let's face it, it is. I got one buddy that swear he will not throw anything but a Mega Bass jerkbait. I mean, he is.
I know a lot of people like that.
He's 100% sold. And I was kind of going down that road, and then my buddy Joe got me hooked up on these Rick Clunn jerkbaits for $8 at Walmart. And what's interesting about them is they're the same size, 110 millimeters, but they've duplicated. Lucky Strike, I think, makes them. They've duplicated a lot of the Mega Bass colors. So we started throwing those, and it seemed like we caught just as many fish with those as we did with the Mega Bass jerkbaits. And then I got to thinking, man, you can get 2.5 of these for the price of a Mega Bass jerkbait. Yeah. I still love the Mega Bass jerkbaits, but I have yet to find a circumstance where they were really out fishing my other jerkbaits.
Yeah, again, I think it goes back to a confidence thing. I mean, Like I've used the 6 Sense jerkbaits I like a lot. The I'm a Flitz I've had a lot of really good luck with. And even back to like the old Rapala Husky jerks, like a good suspending jerkbait that's not expensive at all. Like, I don't know, I grabbed a bunch again. I always go back to the gander sale, but I grabbed probably 20 of them at the gander sale when they had them for like $3 each, $2.50 each or whatever. But another good inexpensive one. But that's the thing with bass fishing. It's like people are so superstitious and like brand loyal that like once they find one, they're like, nothing else will work. This is the only one that like you have to use it,
Yeah.
So,
I like the Smithwick Rogues as well.
Oh yeah, the old Smithwicks are good. Yep.
You want to? You said something there that is something that we've that I've talked about for years and years when I did the radio show. When loyalty in bass fishing is absolutely the key to everything, the success of everything, in my opinion. Look, when you start going Major League Fishing to the elites to now the MPFL, the loyalty that the anglers have is crazy. And really you said it even better. Confidence has everything to do with how you fish a lure.
Yeah, and I think. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, speaking of jerkbaits, this is not new by any means. This is not new by any means. Have you guys ever tried this thing? This
what is that? Is that a lithium battery?
It's the new one.
It's just about as heavy. It's just about as heavy as a lithium battery. It's the Bass Mafia box. They call it the double barrel, and it works really good for jerkbaits and topwaters. But check this thing out.
Is that all Mega Bass in there?
A lot of it is.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, well, see, people why I say we need to raid Mr. Bass's his basement.
I got 2 of these, and then I got more.
See, this is what's funny. I tell people, I'm like, people are like, Debo, you have so much tackle. Like, you have to be the biggest tackle nerd like out there. I'm like, listen, y'all don't understand. I have a very modest collection here. There's people that make me look silly. And Mr. Bass, I'm glad we had John here to prove that there are tackle nuts, Jim, Tackle Junkie, Mr. Bass, guys that have a ton. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's what I always tell people. People are like, oh, you have so much stuff, you can never use it. I always say there's like two different sides to fishing. Like fishing and using lures is one addiction. And then buying, collecting, looking at, storing, messing with lures is a whole different hobby. It's nothing different than antique collecting, than Coca-Cola memorabilia collecting. It's just like, a fishing nerd thing to do.
Have you ever been to an antique fishing show?
I have not, no.
Antique lure. We have the main one that just is about to happen, I think, in like 3 weeks here in Daytona. They do it every year. You go into that antique thing, that antique fishing show, and literally your mind is stopped. I mean, Bernie Schultz gets in there, and he knows everything about every lure. I mean, I'm not joking, everything about every lure. But then you see these guys that have these musky lures that are like, that may be like 12 inches. Mm-hmm. And they're asking $120,000 for those lures. And then you're like, what is going on? And I made a joke. There was most of the people in those antique, they don't fish. They've never fished. They just enjoy the collection of it and getting to know the whole thing. But they had one lure that had a glass thing, and you used to put a minnow in it, and you suctioned it in, and then it had a treble hook on the back. And I said to the guy jokingly, "Oh, there's the first live target lure." You would have thought I came in there and farted in front of the whole place. And I disrespected everybody by saying that. And Bernie said, I had Bernie and Ken next to me, and he's like, "Dude, you need to go apologize." I'm like, "That's funny."
How uncouth.
I know. Bad Chapman.
I got both those addictions, though, man. I am really addicted to tackle, but I'm addicted to tackle storage as well, and I'm always tweaking. And
I need to get way better at that. I'll hire you to come over here and do my stuff.
I've got the problem is it just never ends trying to find the perfect. It's just like somebody was saying, that's too bulky. They're right. This sucker's super bulky. If you're a bank fisherman, this makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
If you got a bass boat, it actually works great in a bass boat. But even on my kayak, this is too much for kayak fishing. So it's always about trying to find the perfect setup for each individual situation, which it just never ends.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm way behind on comments, but Jeff was talking about, the Jackal TN70 is also a really good lipless. It's actually got part of the lead molded into the chin of it, so it's another good one that sits, nose, belly down. Obviously, like the Lucky Craft LV500 is another big one that guys like to use fishing off the bottom. Yeah, I'm kind of like Steve. I'm like, I'm not sold on it, but I don't do enough of that, so I honestly can't. I'm more of a shallow water grass fishing lipless guy, so I don't fish it out, jigging it and fishing it more up and down. And that's kind of the cool thing that I like having guys like this on too. People will see stuff. I do a lot of bank fishing. I call it my aluminum kayak, my John boat. Nothing fancy, but it's fun to have guys with different backgrounds and stuff that can say, well, here's my view on it. And there's not a right or wrong view, like Steve was saying earlier. So much of it's just opinion, So
yeah, it is.
And go ahead. Sorry,
I was just gonna say, 6 cents quakes are awesome too. I've got millions of those from my Super Stick Sack, and I've often wondered. I wonder if 6 cents doesn't have more lure color choices than any company out there when it comes to lipless crankbaits. I don't know if there's another one that has as many different colors. There probably is. That I'm
Bill Lewis. Bill Lewis has
Bill Lewis, of course,
50 some on the rattle trap.
Yeah.
I think.
I thought I saw a Berkeley bait that had 127 colors recently.
It's possible. I'm sure it's possible.
Zoom Trickworm, maybe it probably has
I don't even know which one it was. You want to know what I was going to say? You want to know the thing about this is we all have different ways of fishing. One way isn't correct over another way.
Right.
But if you can learn from other people, then you can use that type of fishing to hopefully help you catch more fish. Because I've went fishing with pros. I've been with Christy and KVD and Atafo and a ton of people. And every time I've ever went with them, I really don't even fish. I'm more watching what they do and then asking questions. Like I was on the boat with Jason Christie for one of the day ones of the Classic, and Jason was arguably the second best angler I've ever been on the boat with, because he was meticulous about what he was going to do. And he found a place where there was a grass flat, and he used one bait and went down that flat, and then went back with another bait, and then went back against it with a third bait, and then back for the fourth time. And just to find out what they were looking for and in that grass. And then once he figured it out, then you could see everything going. And then he went, okay, then it was tunnel focused, and this is the bait I was going to use. And then we went to another spot where we had 4 or 5 anglers, not professional anglers, but other anglers that were trying to hit a corner spot. And Jason said to me, 2 guys had A-rigs and another guy had live bait and another person had a crankbait. And he said, I'm going to use this. I'm going to pull a fish off this point. And we watched people cast everything off this point. He made one cast. He caught a 7-pounder. Made another cast. He caught a 6-pounder. Third cast, he caught a 5.5. And then he said, okay, we need to leave because I've just taught them how to fish. And I sat there in the boat going, what am I watching? How is this possible that this person just did this in front of me? And so when you get to, if you really, like I said, when you go fishing with somebody, even if I go fishing with someone I don't know and they come over to my frog pond, I'm constantly watching how they fish because, I have a frog pond.
Is that what you said? Invite? Yeah. Yeah. I'm done.
I have a frog pond. And I watch how they fish because maybe I can learn something from them that's going to help me catch more fish later on.
I say the exact same thing, dude. Take in information from every single. Somebody brought it up. Was that Neil talked about my MMA background, and I did MMA for 13 years, and that's the one thing is I would watch guys come in and be like, I'm just gonna destroy this guy, and this guy might know one technique that that you're not good at, and just might be able to capitalize on it. It's like, okay, let's take some time and go over this, and you can't overestimate anybody, and you shouldn't dismiss anybody just because they're fishing from a boat. I don't have a boat. I'm not going to watch them. That's junk. Well, you might pick up little things, And yeah, I completely agree. Absolutely. Absorb as much information as you can. And that's funny because I did an Instagram live or a reel. I'm trying to get into the reels game. Horrible at it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm horrible at editing and that kind of stuff. But I went down a YouTube rabbit hole. I watched YouTube very little, to be honest. It's really weird. Especially YouTube fishing. I watch ASMR at night. I watch a guy clean shoes to go to bed. I love it. Angelo Shoe Shine. Check him out. He shines shoes. It's amazing. But I said the one thing that's lacking in so much of bass fishing is explanation and reasoning behind what they're doing. And I knew I was going to get people hating on me left and right because I didn't explain it enough. And I didn't mean anybody that goes on YouTube or anybody that fishes needs to explain exactly what they're doing. Tell me the lure. That's not even what I meant. When I have people saying you're doing this wrong, you need to do it like this because it's better, or stop doing this way because you're just behind the game. But they never tell you why. They say, this is how I do it. Here's how you do this. It's like, well, why is this other way wrong? Or give me more information on what you're doing, why it's so right. That's my deal. So that's what I meant with that. Oh, we got the little guy on. What's up, buddy?
That's Debo, Mr. Bass.
What up, Thomas?
What's up, buddy?
Super swimmer.
That's awesome.
Okay, good night. I love you.
Hey, you'd be a huge asset to a lot of people on here when we get our lures stuck. Would you swim in and get them unsnagged for us?
Yeah. You can do that. It's just Debo's fishing. Okay. Oh, you're gonna watch it? Okay. I love you. Night night. Okay, sorry. It's night night.
Don't ever be sorry about that. I have 2 girls of my own. It's always craziness. I'm sure in a little bit here, whenever we put our girls to bed, my wife will probably do that here in a little bit. Our dog always wants to play, so you'll probably hear screaming, laughing, and then getting after him because he wants to play. Well, I don't know why. Bedtime. But
do your just out of curiosity, have you taught your daughters how to fish? Do they fish?
Yep. So I don't put them on camera. I made that choice when I started my video. I wasn't going to have them on camera and do all that, like, in case they don't like it or they don't have the choice. And I guess I just didn't want them to be in on that. But yeah, we fish. It's better now. I feel like I do better when I take one at a time because now, like the last couple of years, everything they want to do is a fight. So it's like, you're looking at me wrong in the back of the car. We get there. She has a different snack than I do. I'm all pissed off. And
your skin is touching my skin.
Yeah. I can feel that you're looking at me and I don't even know if you're looking at me or not. So I get like 30 good minutes before they're throwing rocks or arguing. But my oldest, when I first started taking her, she liked it a lot. So I feel like it's better if I take them one at a time.
Yeah.
So, yep, they like to fish though.
Yeah, talking about learning from others, and I mean, that's the beauty of YouTube. Obviously, there's a ton of things you can learn by watching. One of the things I did was, I decided it was to learn how to fish different techniques. I needed to go fish different waters that I've never fished before. So I fished for several years as a co-angler behind a lot of people, a lot of really good people. And then also, I also went and signed up as a marshal and rode around in the boats with pros for a while. And it's really amazing, like Steven, you were saying about the things you can learn. Like, for example, I was not a believer of glide baits at all. I was not into that, not interested. I really wasn't even interested in it. Don't want to pay that kind of money, and I don't really see the benefit. And then I've told this story, Steve's heard it before, but then I went down to Table Rock as a marshal, and I got in the boat with Brandon Polinick, and it was early spring, cold water, cold temps, and we go out, and he breaks out a jerkbait, exactly what I thought he'd be throwing. Fished and caught his limit with his jerkbait and with a Cinco and a few things. He did that in a couple of hours. And then after he got his limit, he reaches in his rod box and pulls out this really long rod. And attached to that really long rod is this big glide bait. And I'm like, dude, what the heck are you going to do with that, man? I fish Table Rock all the time, man. I don't know anybody that throws baits like that at Table Rock. You're wasting your time. And he said, this is where I'm going to get my kicker fish with this thing right here. And this bait, it was a Roman-made negotiator, and it was chewed to pieces, man. I mean, you could tell he'd fished the crap out of that thing. And he goes to his first spot there off of a point, a brush pile that he had marked. drops that thing down at the brush pile and catches a 6-pounder just like that. And I was just like, what? What did I just see? Holy crap. I can't believe that. And he was like, dude, man, these things work. These things work. He said, after I get my limit, this is what I do. I go after my kicker fish with these big glide baits. So the next thing you know, bink.
I was gonna say we already know how this story ends because we see behind you.
We know how it ends. But
he's got the curse now.
Yeah, for sure.
David, thank you for the $20. He said for the DEBO wireless earbud fund. So I actually tried yesterday, and I don't think my computer has Bluetooth. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not a tech guy. Tech stuff is not my deal. I don't know. I looked on my computer and I couldn't find how to attach Bluetooth. So I was looking on Amazon for like I do a little bit of gaming here and there, but something like this that like has like the little stick that you plug in here, and I could just wear those like wireless. I was looking at something like that, like some gaming type, because I don't think my computer has Bluetooth. Maybe it does. Steve snickering. Maybe he's like, this guy's an idiot.
No, Thomas is online watching. Thomas's Epic is online watching. I'm thinking, I told him not to be on here so that we wouldn't have any Wi-Fi issues. And here he is. I see him on the chat.
Oh, that's fine. You're
hey, if he donates, we have a problem. Because
is that Steve's channel? Yeah, that's fine. $100 donation is cool.
So Debo, how do earbuds help? Because I've been doing live streams for a long time. I don't ever use them. I've never seen a point.
I don't have any speakers.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Okay.
I used to use headphones because I didn't want. Sorry.
I was just saying, Mr. Bass, I'm surprised you don't get feedback.
That's why I used to use headphones.
Yeah, I don't get any feedback. I don't get any feedback with mine. It's never had any problem.
I used to when we used to do the radio show. I would do some things here, and then out of nowhere you'd hear screeching. So then I'd put it on. Also, you can turn it up a little bit louder. I mean, when I did the radio show, I used to keep my headphones on so loud I could hear if Mike or Boudreaux was. You put that microphone in front of your face, if they were breathing into the microphone, because it would irritate me. But also then you could do a talk back and talk directly to the producer, and then he could talk just to my ears and it wouldn't go out.
Okay.
So there used to be a little button on the left of me that I could hit and then just go blah, 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 and talk directly to Chris. And then nobody else would hear that.
Gotcha.
If we get Randall set up so he can do all my mixing and be my director.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Awesome.
David, thanks for joining. He said three of his favorite fishing channels on one live stream. Glad I caught it.
Sweet.
Glad to have you. Blind Net Fishing said the Plano Edge box is $20 on Amazon right now.
Really?
Whoa.
Yelling at me for I showed a big mess of tackle that I had just laying around.
$20 is great.
Yeah.
Is it the Edge Flex or just the Edge? Because if it's the Edge Flex, I'm going to go crazy.
I don't know what the difference is. I think I've only got a couple edges, and they were from, I think Randy bought me one, and then some subscribers sent me a couple. I haven't used them much, but they seem nice. Let's see. What else? And if you guys see anything, shout it out. It's open forum tonight. We're at what? 300 people watching. I can't believe that. Thank you all so freaking much.
Awesome.
I appreciate that.
That is awesome.
And as far as giveaway, I talked about it earlier. I am giving away a couple of my special DEBO customs. These are some iridescent white crappies with kind of the cool hollow walleye looking eyes. I'm going to do 2 giveaways, so each of you will get one of these, and I'm going to put like $50 worth of tackle together. I've got a whole bunch of stuff here I was cleaning out, and good stuff, not just old junk that I don't want. Good stuff. I gave away a couple. Funny enough, me and Mr. Bass were talking about it, which this will be a good segue. And was it my New Year's one or whatever, where I gave like $100 worth of tackle box, and then 250s on each one of those. I put one of the new Ott's Garage OG Slims because I bought like, I don't know, 8 of those.
I got the new smaller ones yesterday.
Perfect segue. So Mr. Bass actually got some.
And I really like to say that.
What's that?
I don't know if I was allowed to share that.
Yeah, you got them at Academy like Mr. Bass did.
Are you talking about the tinies?
Yeah, I got the tinies.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Bass got at Academy, just like you, Steve.
Bam.
Mine didn't come from Academy.
Steve. But I've really liked it. I like the balsa. I've gotten into it more the past few years. I used to throw like the DTs were the big balsa. And then the BX Brats. Funny enough, after Randy Dizzle hooked me in the back of the leg with one, I started fishing them more. But I like this. It just goes too deep for a lot of bank fishing. So that's why I was really interested in the Tiny 4.
That is going to be a great bait next month.
I think so too. It'll
Colder
be
weather people are going to love that bait.
I'll show you the difference in size.
Hold on,
here's the slim. Here's the slim 6, and then this is the tiny next to it. I did it.
That one dives what, 2 to 4 feet?
Yeah, like 2.5 is what I was getting it to dive.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's perfect for bank.
If they call it the Tiny 4, you would think it goes 4 feet. Usually, Rapala
depend on the line too, probably.
But
I think sometimes they shortcut it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that case, you can just put your rod tip up higher, a little bit higher, instead of keeping it lower, and that'll help it too. Also, the line that you use has a big difference in how deep that bait's going to run too. I mean, I don't know. You guys are up north, so I don't know what you all use. I mean, I only use braid all the time, but we have so much grass down here that you need to be able to pull them out of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I'm mainly a fluoro guy, but yeah, you're exactly right. The lighter you go on the fluorocarbon, the less that line is impeding the bait, and the farther down it's going to get. So if you throw like one of those tinies on 8-pound fluorocarbon, you're going to be able to get it way deeper than if you're, throwing it on 15. It might only get to here.
Yeah.
So it seems like these flat sides. I mean, there's kind of like been a flat side craze going on, with the Fritz side, the OG Slims, the Chick Magnet. Seems like everybody's making some sort of a flat-sided crank right now, aren't they?
Everybody forgot about those.
Oh snap! Is that a PH Custom Lures?
Not an expensive. Nope, it's not an expensive one.
I don't know.
Yellow box. The old bombers.
Oh yeah.
Tons of the bombers. There's the flat sides. They've got the round, but yeah, I feel like everybody kind of forgot about the bomber.
As though this is a new idea.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's really not, is it?
The, like super old ones. I think I have 1 or 2 from like back in the 90s. But I mean the bomber stuff, there's like old ones that people really, just like anything that people really like and go after. But flat sides are great.
Is that the type of fishing that you like to do the most? Like crankbait fishing? What kind if you go out right now, and I mean, I don't know what the weather's like up there, but if you were to go fishing right now, what would be your first bait you'd put out?
A wax worm on a 1/54th ounce jig head through the ice.
Well, I mean, if there's no ice.
Oh, okay. No, my favorite is frog fishing. If I can only do one thing forever, it'd be frog fishing. Hands
you
down,
need to come see me.
Frogs. Nice. Second would probably be just like flipping a Texas rig, either like a craw or a worm around wood. That's, I mean, just flipping a pitch in shallow wood and stuff, grass lines. That or frogging. Those are by far my favorite 2 ways to fish.
I have a pond. I'm not joking. Well, right now it's not that good for frogging, but as you walk down to it, and I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of frogs will jump over your feet to get into the water. And that's all the bass eat during the summer. And it's really crazy because I went out there fishing just the other day, and I was thinking to myself, I didn't bring a frog at all, but I was wacky rigging a worm and doing fairly decent. But it was the first time I've ever been to this pond, and that like dusk, it just wasn't so loud with frogs. It was just peaceful and quiet, and it almost was like a little scary because I was like looking around. Every time I heard a crack, I'm like flinching, thinking someone's behind me. No, of course, nobody's behind me because you can't get to this pond. But I call it the frog pond. It is fabulous fishing.
I'm jealous. Is this actually on your property? Like this is your pond?
There's nobody that can get to it. It's not my pond. My buddy, I guess I can go into this. My buddy owned the house up on the top, and at one point in time, the pond was, you can't get to the pond except if you go through his house. So it was like private property.
Gotcha.
And then he was saying to me, it would be great if I could own this. It's like the whole property is probably 10 or 12 acres. And he thought it'll probably cost like $5,000 an acre. And he's like, I'll never be able to afford it. And then they called and they said, make me an offer on it. So we offered him $200 an acre, and he bought the whole property. So now he lives on 10 acres up front and 10 acres in the back with a private pond that we just dumped 500,000 golden shiners in.
Woo! Awesome.
Oh.
They were literally this big. So we're trying to, there's actually too many bass in the pond. So we're going to try to beef them up, and then we're going to move them up to another pond here shortly. But we've thrown a couple, like I was watching one of your videos and you were like, I think I only got a 6-pounder, the biggest fish. This pond has 3 fish well over 6 pounds.
Yeah, that's not. I don't know that you've watched my channel much, Steve. I'm not known for catching huge fish.
Yes.
Not really my deal.
You just catch numbers.
Yeah. Well, not even that a lot of the times. I'm lucky to catch anything. So
He needs to trademark the Debo dink because everybody's using it,
yeah,
including me. If I catch a dink, I'm
hey,
posting
I
the
love
Debo
it.
dink.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'll share it. I've got one of my guys hooked me up with an edit that he did, Debo Dink of the Week. And I was trying to get it to work on here and I couldn't get it to work, but it's like he's like an editor and did a sweet, cool edit of like the dink flying in. And I just wish I was more tech savvy. I'm kind of stupid when it comes to a lot of this. But Nikhil Phelan, is that how you say it? Nikhil? DC versus regular thoughts.
That's a good question. To DC or not to DC?
So I always ask people, how comfortable are you with a baitcaster? If you're just starting out, I think it does help. I think it does cut some of the learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
But it's heavier. It's noisy. Like after a while, the noise kind of annoys me.
The zing, you mean?
Yeah. People love the sound of it. They're like, I want to get it for the sound, but it's like after I'm using it for the day, I'm like, okay, listen, you stop with your zinging here. Real. And I think once you get comfortable with it, I think there's other options at that price point that you can get that are better. But that's just me. I know
I bring a DC every time I fish with cousin Ken Duke because I zing that thing as much as possible just to piss him off.
I live in a pretty windy part of the world. It seems like we've always got wind, and the DC definitely helps with wind. But I do agree with you, Debo. Once you get proficient with a bait cast reel, you don't need any kind of digital braking, magnetic braking, any of that kind of stuff, any of the extra fancy stuff, unless you just want to pay for it. But if you do pay for it, I think you'll notice a difference for sure. All right, my dog's going nuts. I got to let him out.
Oh,
I think that when you get comfortable, you should move to something a little bit different. I think there still is. I don't know 100%. This is just me probably stirring the pot. I actually think you still don't get the distance that you do with a DC versus one that a regular baitcaster. I think the DC still holds the line back a little bit when it spools out, so you don't get that cast as far. And also, I see a difference when flipping and pitching with heavier weights. That
it's not as free feeling.
Yeah, it kind of wants to stop itself a little bit.
Yep.
And you're so used. I can hear you're so used to thumbing it that you're, it's just preference.
You can't thumb it. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed really early on is I was having I was backlashing left and right, and I found out after I read it says you have to tighten the spool tension more than you would normally.
Mm-hmm.
I usually keep my baitcaster pretty loose. You have to tighten that spool tension more normally, and you can't touch it with your thumb. You can't mess with it, and that was a habit I had to break. Using that because I'm so used to throwing the baitcaster out and just barely touching it with my thumb that once you do that, it like messes with the brakes and you get a backlash. So it's like if you're somebody who likes to throw it out and not thumb, it's really good for that because you don't.
I think that you have to cast it with more like a rounding motion instead of sometimes when you see something you back and you just whip it. And I think sometimes when you do that DC really dislikes that first second coming off your line, off your rod or the reel, and then it works itself out so fast. But the God's honest truth, I own only DCs. That's the God's honest truth.
And there's nothing wrong. There's some people that I mean, Randizzle, for example, my buddy Randy, he always talked crap about him. Then after he got one, he's like, actually, I love this thing, especially like for skipping. It's really good for skipping, into the wind. And Randy's one of those guys, he hates to thumb it. He'll tell you that. He's like, I hate messing with my thumb. I just want to throw it out, let it be done, and then just stop it, and it's.
I usually only thumb it when it hits the water. I have my thumb over there, and then I'm holding it and letting it, just feeling it. And then just as I know it's going to hit the water, I stop it.
Yep.
So
we've got some chatterbait nuts on here, Grady. This will be a good one to get your money's worth. I think the best bang for the buck chatterbait is the Chatterbait Custom on Tackle Warehouse. I've had a lot of good luck with that one. Right now on sale, I think it's still like $4.95, so under $5 for the custom.
That's a good price.
What about you guys? What's your best bang for the buck chatterbait or vibrating jig?
Go ahead.
Well, that's a great question, because when you start talking about price, I mean, best bang for your buck's different than best chatterbait.
If you think there's a best one too, if you think the jackhammer's that much better, why?
I'll let Steve talk about that, because that's what he's going to say.
I'm going to say the jackhammer is the best overall, in my opinion, just because of the components on it and how fast it starts. I will say the best bang for the buck, I think, might be that melee or whatever it is, because I think that you can get that one for like $6 or $7 or $8, and I'm not sure. But the problem with that Booyah melee, it's just so hard to find.
Are we talking about the same one that I'm thinking, where the blade's in the head?
It's called MELEE.
Yeah, the Booyah. It's like the blade's actually in the head, and there's like a metal rod that goes through it.
Like the melee?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is the one, and it's funny because I've had the exact opposite. This is the one. Yeah, I hated it. I'll be honest.
Did you?
I had 4 of them, and 3 of the 4 didn't work.
Oh, well, that would be. I've only had one. I still have it, and I've caught probably as many fish on it as I have had a jackhammer. But I will say, Mr. Bass and I have talked about this in kind of in depth. I think that if you go to a pond and you use that jackhammer too much, that fish tend to stay away from it, because after they've been caught 1 or 2 times with it, they know that noise and they get away. They just completely think they know what it is. I've used like years ago. I don't know if you've ever been saltwater fishing. I live right here in Mosquito Lagoon, and we have
fishing in Iowa was really slow.
Yeah, really slow. We had, when Gulp first came out, they bombarded us with Gulp shrimp, and you would cast that Gulp at a tailing redfish, and that redfish would come. If he was facing this way, he would turn around and eat that bait. And then 2 or 3 years later, you would throw that same bait, and you would see it land, and you'd be, when you fish for redfish, you're almost like throwing like a football. You're guiding the bait to where you think that redfish is going to be, and they're just cruising like this. You would get that bait 15, 20 feet in front of them. They would keep heading on that same line, see that bait, and just bolt the other direction, because they would smell it, and they would be like, okay, I know I'm getting fished for right now. And I think that I think Mr. Bass has the same thing. I think that's happening with chatterbaits right now. But I think you could buy something else like a Thunder Cricket or the Stealth Blade or something that might be a little bit less noisy and still catch them.
I've liked the Thunder Cricket a lot, and it's interesting you bring that up, Steve, because I've talked to a number of different people about that too. Of can you condition fish to a specific bait? Can they be conditioned to a specific sound, a specific look?
Absolutely.
And then on the other end of that, is there a time frame? So like you were saying, if you hit that pond, a fish are going to get conditioned to that. Well, how long is long enough that they forget? Do they forget?
6 months is
that are like, they're idiots. They can't remember. They don't know. Anybody that says that is wrong. And
yeah,
I've got people on the other end of the spectrum. Like,
they say a fish can remember a bait for 6 months. That is. They did a whole study on where basses go and how they react and stuff and how they catch. But a bass's memory is 6 months long. And I mean, I have a pond that's I call it Lake EA. I call it Lake Ethan and Annika. It is all I've done is go use chatterbaits on it. I can't use chatterbaits there anymore. They just won't bite them. So,
and I think that's honestly the reason that people like to buy and try different lures. They're always looking for that new best thing, right? And though I think a lot of it's baloney, like the lunker hunt lizard thing, you know, completely.
I don't use any lunker hunt.
A whole different rabbit hole. We'll get that. Versus things that actually work, and I feel like you can get just a little bit different look, and it does make a difference. I don't care.
It does make a difference.
There's certain things where you can get just a little bit different sound or look, and it makes a difference. Now, is it with everything, and what degree do you go to before you get significant diminishing returns on that? Like, a watermelon red versus a green pumpkin, like maybe there's no difference. Maybe you get one bite, versus a ribbon tail worm versus this new craw that fish have never seen, and just it's a 10-to-1. I don't know. I could geek out and talk about this stuff when Critical Gravy's right. I wish we did have a bunch of this or that's lined up for Mr. Bass and Steve. That would be a lot of fun to do with these guys.
Did you sorry, Mr. Bass, did you like the lunker hunt skitter lizard? I need to know.
He's setting you up, David. Debo, he's setting you up, Debo.
Me? Oh, I thought he was asking you.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh no, I would never buy it.
Okay,
it's on my list. It's on my list of worst. It's on my list of worst lures. And I don't ever usually say this on things because I'm a big believer in how can you say something's bad without even trying it. But I've looked at it and it reminds me of other things, and I have an argument for not needing that lure. Let me say that. I can't tell you that lure's bad, and I can't tell you that lure won't catch fish, because the way you fish it and the way it works, it might. But I can tell you why I think a frog and other things are better than that without even using it.
Well, I can tell you 5 reasons why you won't catch a fish with it.
Well, I'm starting a charity for lures that need to be repurposed, like this beauty right here.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
the bling is
it's really
fancy.
My viewers suggested that we turn these ICBMs into necklaces, and I've gotten a lot of compliments since I started wearing this thing. So there may be a way to salvage some of these horrible lures if we think about it. Speaking of chatterbaits, though, I like, I'm really starting to like that cross-eyes chatterbait.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even
it's not quite half the price of a jackhammer, but I think it's about $9-10. I think you can get it for $6 or $7 right now.
Yeah, they're on sale right now, and I've been telling people for a while it's the best chatterbait to use from the bank. Without
it's a great little chatterbait.
Is it really $7?
Yeah, they got them on sale for $7 right now.
Oh, that's the best deal of all time for that bait.
Yeah, it's a great deal right now. The other thing, my second favorite for if you're looking for economy is the Thunder Cricket. And you may say, well, wait a minute, the Thunder Cricket's $14, but there's always places like Monster Bass, for example. They've always got them for half price on there. Now they have limited colors. You're not always going to find maybe the color you want, but a lot of times you can get them for $8 over there. And it seems like you can find better deals around the internet on Thunder Crickets if you look around, if you're patient and look around for it. And to me, I think the Thunder Cricket is just excellent in every way. I put it right up there next to my jackhammers. I still love my jackhammers, throw my jackhammers. Mm-hmm. But kind of like Steve was saying, I think I've fished some waters where everybody's throwing that jackhammer. I'll break out the Thunder Cricket and it just gives me more confidence. I feel like the fish aren't as accustomed to it as they are the jackhammers.
Someone mentioned the clickbait. I have to say, I thought the clickbait was clickbait.
I thought it was too.
Worst lure as well.
I thought it was too, man. But I'm telling you,
I've caught a couple fish on it, but I don't think you can put it in the vibrating jig chatterbait thing. No, I think you just need to put it as a different lure.
Yes,
because it doesn't make enough. It doesn't make any noise,
and it's hard.
It's very different. And same deal. I got that thing, and I was like, this is frog fur, man. You can forget that. But I decided to make a video where I kind of compared it with a chatterbait, head to head. And my buddy was throwing the clickbait and I threw the chatterbait, and I outfished him for sure. But he caught a lot of fish on it, and the one thing that blew me away is it fishes around cover better than any bladed jig I've ever thrown.
Except
Which
that
one?
The clickbait does.
Over the
you can throw it around wood like you wouldn't believe, and it comes through wood. It's amazing. It's still not my favorite, but it's still like I agree with Steve. I think it's a different category of bait. It really shouldn't even be compared to these. But if you're throwing around a lot of timber and you're losing a lot of bladed jigs, try that clickbait, and I think you'll be really surprised.
Or the cross eyes.
Yeah, the cross eyes works well also.
Yeah. The cross eyes start so fast too. I mean, it's like when you look at underwater from the cross eyes from the jackhammer, it is almost, if not the same speed, startup speed. And the one problem I had about that clickbait is that there were too many times that I would cast it and I had to give the rod a huge twitch to get it moving. And the problem with that is if you're casting at a point where you think a fish is, you've now passed by that fish's face because you've had to start the jig. And that's where that and the noise is where I had so many problems with that clickbait.
Well, the other problem I had
fish on it.
The other problem I had with it is it kept coming to the surface.
Yeah.
It was almost like a topwater bait. But then I figured out that you have to adjust that blade. You can actually bend the blade back and forth. And depending upon how you bend it, it will ride up to the surface or it'll actually dive down.
See, that's what I was going to say. I watched Randizzle fish it, and that was the same thing. Is like after watching, I'm like, this thing shouldn't even be called a chatterbait. Because he said the same thing, vibration. And he said he tried bending the blade. He said he watched some stuff on that too. But he's like, I shouldn't have to buy a chatterbait and modify it for 15 minutes to get it to run.
My biggest pet peeve is to get a bait and then right out of the box you have to tune it to make it work properly. When I put it on, I don't want to have to. I want to just be able to fish. I'm not smart enough to tune things. I don't need to be messing around with stuff. Or like one of the baits I use a lot is an H2O Ultimate. Jointed swim bait. Maybe it's called. It's a phenomenal swim for the price for $5. It's phenomenal, but the hooks suck.
Yeah. That's
my then you have to change the hooks. And that makes me
paying
crazy.
Money for a bait and then have to replace the hooks.
Yeah,
immediately before you even fish it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's it's a way to really kind of stick it to your customer. I'm going to make it appear like my bait is a high quality bait at a cheaper price. No, that's not what you're doing. I mean, anybody that's fished it can figure out. All right, this is a $6 bait that normally should be $10, but I'm going to have to put $4 worth of hooks on the thing. So you're not saving me any money.
Debo auto tune. Is my stuff messed up? My voice sounds strange.
Oh, it sounds fine to me.
Okay.
Sounds fine to me as well.
Somebody was saying, Debo, are you on auto tune?
Josh said a good one. The Picasso lures is a good one too.
It is great. It is
I
great.
forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent. But it's
they've
pricey up there too. I mean, all the Picassos they're pricey. They're jackhammer pricey. They're 13, 14 bucks.
I'm doing a closer look on that new Amart carbon fiber one. Oh, there he is, Vision 110. That's a great bait.
Although they've got a few on sale right now. They got an $8 one and an $8.95 one.
Nice.
So they got so many now with all these Aaron Martin versions. It's kind of like, where the heck do I even start now? There's so many freaking choices. They've got
the carbon fiber one starts really fast. Really fast.
There are 16 different models on Tackle Warehouse right now for Picasso bladed jigs.
Wow.
That's insane. Trying to narrow that down. I mean, that's just overload, in my opinion. I mean, some of them have carbon fiber blades and they're shaped different. Some have metal blades and they're shaped different than that.
It's kind of sketchy. This is a brand new one. I didn't notice it was stapled. What's going on here?
Is that a carbon fiber one?
No, this is one of the new. I didn't know it was. I was just grabbing one with the thing, but this is one of the. I've got some of the carbon fiber over there, but this has like the. It's not the black carbon fiber one. It's like this circuit board look almost to it.
Yeah.
That's the carbon fiber one I have.
Yeah, it's like a football head, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I just finished doing a closer look on this one. It really starts fast.
I'll tell you an experience I had with
nothing.
one of the Picasso bladed jigs. I can't remember. It's a football head one. I was throwing a thunder cricket and was catching fish all day on it, for probably 4 or 5 hours. And then the bite just stopped. And then I switched and I went to that Picasso and I started catching them like crazy again. Same day, same type of bait, but just by switching from that brand to the Picasso, it was lights out. It was crazy.
It's so hard to say. Yeah. I like the heavy cover ones. If you're looking at something like you fish from the bank, these have like 4 little wires on them. These are the heavy cover. And if you've never seen the Picasso ones, theirs are kind of cool because they have this like clevis that attaches the blade to the nose. And my camera sucks there. I don't know why it won't show it, but it attaches like the blade to the nose, so it's almost 100% direct. But they run really well too.
They definitely do.
I saw a video you did. You talked about the Queens one where you can add that on. Those guys are great too.
Oh, I think that might have been Hellabass probably.
Oh, okay.
Hellabass told me about those. I didn't get to use them yet. I did buy some because of Hellabass's recommendation, but those look really cool. Yeah, it's basically any swim jig with a vertical line tie, meaning it goes this way in line with the lure. You just run that, you undo the clevis and just run it on here and it connects directly to the line tie of the swim jig. So I haven't got to try them yet.
They're really young kids that own that company. They're really good kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really good kids. I met them like 2 or 3 years ago and they handed me a bunch of them and I thought, this will never work. And then I put one on. I was like, oh, for like $4 I can make any jig or any real jig into a chatterbait that bangs properly. And I was very surprised. Very surprised.
I am way behind. All right, let's run one giveaway real quick. Let's see. We're just gonna do unshare. I'll do one now, then I'll do another in like 15 minutes or so. For those of the late crew that stays with us, because I love y'all and appreciate you. We've had over 300 people in here basically the whole time. How freaking insane is that for some dummy in Iowa sitting in his basement talking with guys that know 1,000 times more than me?
You know more than me, dude.
Awesome. Oh,
you know your stuff. You know your stuff, Dio.
Let's see. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do hashtag
Jitterbug versus Whopper Plopper. What do you think, Steve?
I am not lucky with the Whopper Plopper. I'm just not. I don't know why. And it comes down to confidence. I can tell you, I have 2 full 3,700 boxes full of Whopper Ploppers. And I shouldn't give them away.
I'll get you my address. Yeah, I'll give you my address after this.
Yeah, let me give you mine.
And I don't I haven't had much luck.
Actually, okay.
Go ahead.
Steve, sorry.
I was going to say, did you ever use the Guggen Whopper Plopper, the revolver?
No.
No, I've got one. I haven't used it. It's weird because the blade rotates in front of the hook.
Yes.
I don't know.
Where it gets caught a lot.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a very good design, really.
I questioned them at ICAST before that they came out saying, I don't think that'll work. And they were not happy with me. They
really
told me I was something else. And I bought one and then I was like, it's so heavy. And I was like, yeah, I'm done with this after. Someone got it. Some I don't have nearly the amount of subscribers you do. Some lucky person got that bait from me.
Have you fished the Plopper 60, the tiny one?
I think people are saying I've gained weight. Hashtag Butterball. Am I looking at the Butterball?
They're talking about me.
Heck yeah.
I've only gained a little bit.
Aren't we supposed to gain weight during the holidays?
Of course,
I
that's
don't know.
tradition.
I've said it. It doesn't matter to me. I know I have. I'm lazy. I need to get my butt back to working out. But if you're wanting to get on the giveaway, a custom DEBO lure, hashtag Bassman right now. I don't know why. I saw Mr. Bass and he's like, he's the Bassman. So I did Bassman. I don't know. It's random. But anyway, I'm going to be giving one of those away and I'm going to throw probably like $50 worth of gear into a box and just send it to you. So you just have to email me. That's the only thing, because email is 1,000 times easier. I cannot keep track of people on Instagram. Too much going in and out of there. So you just have to email me.
Did you see the one incoming from Mark Flanagan?
Mark Flanagan. I'm way behind. I'm just going to go all the way down. Everybody that had questions, I'm sorry. I just skipped to the bottom.
He sent you money, so put his thing up there.
Mark. Oh, Mac. He's my this or that guy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Mac Flanagan. So this or that incoming. Mac, I did a whole live based on Mac. So Mac usually always donates and does it like a this or that, which I love Mac. And I was going to say earlier, we need Mac to do one for us.
I don't even know Mac, but I love him too.
Yeah, I love the this or that's because they're so much fun. So I did a whole live on Mac. I sent him out a whole care package, especially took care of him because he's always on. He always watches and he always does it this or that. So people notice that. People notice good people who support. Unlike the people that said I look like a butterball on here. Come on, folks.
I like that.
Don't be mean.
I see people comment all the time, and I'm like, I just text them, send me your address, and then I send them a package of stuff that I don't use.
Yeah.
They don't. So I don't even get people donate like this, so I just do it just to say thank you.
Yeah. It makes a difference. Those kind of people that are always in there, always in my streams. Okay, this or that. So we're gonna answer this, then I'll pick a winner. We have 325 people and 176 entries. Come on, folks. Get that entry game going. Let's get to 200. Okay, Mac, this or that. Too many trees or no trees? I'm too many trees all the time. If I've got wood, standing timber, I love the wood. Maybe I should have rethought that. I love fishing around wood.
I definitely like many trees.
I like trees too. I will say I have to, in the next one, I always fish in vegetation. So I would go vegetation before wood.
There's a fine line. It depends. I like fishing grass too. We have a lot of grassy lakes. However, there are some that get so choked up, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So it's like, I would rather fish wood than vegetation normally.
We don't get a lot of wood piles down here unless you my Lake EA has like 20 Christmas trees in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they got there, but it has like 20 in one specific place. But like for us, they spray down here when the grass gets so much. They start spraying and then the fishing sucks after it.
Randy and I just experienced that at a lake this year. It's always been a good lake that gets like this weird growing vegetation. They sprayed it and there's none of that. And it's a night and day difference. That place absolutely sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Randy have talked about that, but Seeger or Sunline?
I'm a Seeger man.
I think I am too.
I use both. I like both a lot. I wouldn't
can't beat
good with either one.
Yeah, both are good.
Either one.
Yep.
Same for the next one. I don't even know how I'd pick Gammies or Owner.
Depends
on what I need. Owner beast hooks, I don't think can be beat. I think they have hands down the best belly weighted swim bait hooks.
For sure. I use Owner for swim bait hooks, and I use them for the trebles as well. Trebles for the big swim baits, but Gamakatsus are pretty much what I use for my worm hooks and my EWGs.
I only use Daiichi hooks.
Oh.
And that's just because they donate so much to kids fishing events.
Oh.
Every time we do a kids fishing thing down here, we call them and they send us piles of hooks for the kids. So I just try to, because they do it, I just try to make sure I use their hooks. And I agree with you on the beast hooks though. The beast hooks are amazing. But I try when I use Wacky Rig or I'm Texas rigging, it's always a Daiichi red bleeding bait hook.
I just bought we'll go check after that we pick a winner. I think Tackle Warehouse had a bunch of their stuff on sale. If I remember, I believe it was Daiichi that I just bought a bunch of. Ryugi, if you guys are looking at a good wacky hook, I know I've been talking about these a lot. These have been
Fantastic.
killer hooks. This is why I need wireless ear things. I just ripped them out of my ear again.
Those are the hooks. Those are the wacky rig hooks I use.
Oh, I love them. Yeah. Okay, let's pick a winner here quick, and then we'll keep tackle nerding. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, Steve and Mr. Bass. This has been a ton of fun. I love nerding out and tackle talking. I am sharing, right? Okay. Yeah. Here it is. Michael Bradley. Are you here? Oh, and that was the only other thing. You have to be here.
Oh,
You did the hashtag and leave. You don't get a win. So I should have said that. Sorry. I say it every week. If you don't know it by now, well. Let's see if anybody has any other this or that's. Mac, thank you for always supporting, and thank you for the this or that, my friend. Oh, I think I saw one from Fish in the Southeast. Let's see. Let's make sure Michael's here. Michael, that was rolling. Well, we'll answer this one. This or that. Chatterbait or spinnerbait? Oh, Michael says he's here. Michael, I'll put the banner up. I don't know. I think this deletes my question. Yeah. So DEBO'SFishing@gmail.com. I need you to email me. And again, I shouldn't have to do this reminder. But swindlers, jerks, trying to get in on the giveaway. Nobody else email me. I had one giveaway one night where like 3 people email me. They're like, "Oh, I'm the winner." I'm like, "Listen, you're not even the person. Don't be trying to swindle old Debo." So go ahead and email me, DEBO'SFishing@gmail.com with your information, and I will get you a deal out. Another 15 minutes, we'll draw another winner here. But
that's why I don't do giveaways on Instagram, because man, there's so many scammers on Instagram giveaways.
Yeah.
I don't even.
I'll mess with that.
Yeah. Stone Man lures in the house.
Stone Man, another painter. Okay, we got to answer this quick before we go to Stone Man stuff. I'm going to say spinnerbait. Spinnerbait has been my number 2 confidence lure of all time. You can catch fish anywhere on them, even though everybody uses them, which I think actually helps now. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about too with the Whopper Plopper versus Jitterbug. I'm going to park that for a second. I need to get a whiteboard here.
Yeah,
I need to get a
I've got
whiteboard.
one.
I got one right there.
All right, stuff right down here while we're going.
Maybe that's what I'll use. Stone Man, that's what I'm going to use your $5 for. I'm going to get a suite so I can. My short-term memory, I think, from getting hit in the head for 13 years in MMA, my short-term memory is garbage. But where was he even go? Oh, I think everybody uses the chatterbait now. I feel like there's not as many people using the spinnerbait, and it's one of those lures that's kind of resurging again.
I totally agree with you, but I picked chatterbait. And intellectually, you're right on, man. In fact, I think strategically, if you wanted to outfish people, throwing the spinnerbait probably makes more sense. But man, I am so accustomed. I'm
that's pretty.
Stoneman.
Oh, Stone Man getting some love.
Heck yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I've seen his stuff. I think nobody's on Instagram, aren't we, Stone Man? I believe that's you that I'm thinking of.
His get underwater fit video tomorrow.
I'm a chatterbait addict, and I'm going to throw it first.
So for me,
Steve is too.
I love the chatterbait, but tomorrow morning, the first lure I'll be throwing is
I hope this is you.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's him. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
tomorrow,
beautiful work.
Yeah, tomorrow the first bait I'll be throwing is a Z-Man spinnerbait for sure.
I've heard mixed reviews on those. I haven't used any of them yet. Are they good? Or are you testing it?
Yeah, I haven't tried those yet either.
I've heard wires breaking on them. A lot of people saying.
I could see that. I haven't had that problem. I just like how one of my pet peeves and something that got me in a lot of trouble with Rick at Monster Bass was that I was very critical about some of the spinnerbaits from like Lunker Candy. And I told him that, first off, I didn't like them. But second off, the reason I didn't like them is because they always swam sideways like this. And with that Z-Man one with the cut underneath, they always swim true. And so that's really, really why I like those. But in all honesty, if it's a decent spinnerbait, then I'm gonna use it. But tomorrow it's gonna be spinnerbait, the first thing at the golf course.
The thing people have to remember about spinnerbaits too is the lighter wire of a blade you get, you're going to get more vibration, more thump, more action out of it. But the more fish you catch, and the more, like Steve was saying, where it starts to run on the side, you might have to bend those blades to make sure everything is straight to get it to run straight. But remember, the more back and forth you bend it, just like a paper clip, that wire is going to get weak there.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I also
if that's
think
the problem people are having or what, but
my personal opinion is that a thinner wire is better. You get better vibration. I think you're going to catch more fish if you have a spinnerbait that has thinner wires. And so I don't mind spinnerbaits where the wires break. I feel like that's actually better than having a super heavy, super stout wire. I'll show you this really cool Stoneman Lures color I got that is off the charts. His black crappie color.
Oh, yeah, that's ridiculous. Yes, very cool.
I mean, that's really sick. I mean, he sent me several of these black crappies. Let me see if I can give you another one that looks.
Yes, very.
See how much blue? I mean, there's just so much color in this thing.
Is that a coffin board or a coffin board?
Oh,
coffin bill?
It's a.
It's like a bigger flat-sided deep dive. That's cool.
Yeah, and then here's a lipless. Look at that thing.
Love it. Good work, dude.
Jeez.
I can appreciate a fellow bait painter.
That thing is crazy. In fact, speaking of lipless, let me show you guys the lipless that Debo sent me. Debo sent me a lipless, and this color's pretty sick as well. Do you have a name for this color, Debo?
No, that was one of a kind. I had two blanks. I had a green one gold, and then that gold.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I just painted that and sent it to you as a one-off that I had. It looked pretty cool.
Dude, that's really nice. This was like a golden perch or something.
Yeah, the blank, the actual lipless blank is like a reflective golden, like a gold. It's not a foil. It's just like a reflective gold.
Yeah.
But I only had one of those, and I had one that was like a reflective green that I gave away to. Was that?
Did you put a little? Did you buy the treble hooks that have that little spinner on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the spin blade.
Yeah, I love that.
What do you use for hook caps? These little.
So funny enough, that was actually my guy Chaunch that sent me when I showed you that Mega Bass jerkbait. He's kind of my JDM dealer guy that sends me all my JDM stuff.
Yeah.
He gave me the idea of earring backs. Those are just earring backs.
Yeah. I gotta try some of those because
you can get them for like 500 of them for like $3 on Amazon or whatever.
Man, I gotta try that. I really like those. I like those a lot.
Let's see, this or that, cranking or flipping and pitching. Flipping and pitching for me, for sure.
So is it called flipping or pitching? Down here, we call it punching.
Well, it depends on how much vegetation you had. If you had no vegetation, you wouldn't call it that.
It's flipping and pitching up here. I mean, we rarely punch.
We're punching down here.
Do you use anything when we talk about flipping and pitching? Do you use anything less than an ounce for your flipping and pitching weight?
Actually, I like to flip a ½ ounce.
Oh, okay.
But when if I go fish with someone else, everyone's always putting heavier stuff. I don't like that. The fall rate is really important to me.
Sure. Yep. As long as you can get through. I know that's the big thing is can you break through that canopy, right? Which is why they're using heavier. But
so I try to find when I'm flipping and when I'm on a boat, I'm trying to find just a hole, and I don't work anything else. If it's too much, I'm like, okay, we're not going to find anything through there. Yep. But if I find a hole, it's just a matter of just getting it there and just letting it get through it. We have like tree stumps and all sorts of crap right now out there. So, but it's funny. Punching is like, if you talk to some people, they're like, do you flip or do you punch? And I'm like,
yes.
Speaking of punching, Debo, have you seen the Beco Jigs punching jig?
Well, I bought those simply because of you.
Oh,
I got that June bug one.
Those things are beautiful. They are so crazy.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They do great work.
Which one is it?
I'll go grab a couple of them. I know where mine are at. They're off the charts. Just the shape of the head alone is insane.
Yeah, watching some of these other guy live streams is a bad deal because I end up spending money. This or that. My guy Braden, big worm or finesse worm?
Finesse.
I would say, yeah, sheer fish catching numbers, finesse. But it's summertime around here in Iowa. Again, flipping and pitching around wood or grass lines. You can't beat a big 10-inch ribbon-tail worm.
Yeah. Have you seen the HD, the tackle something HD ribbon one? The tail's fantastic on it. It's fantastic. I don't even know if I have them.
Well, here I will.
Oh, I do. It's right here. It's called the HD Tackle Direct.
Too big. I've heard of their stuff. I think don't they sponsor James Watson?
Maybe. I don't. But the tail on it is fantastic.
Oh, that looks like an old. Okay, we're gonna go down memory lane here for a second because
this is. It's a little big, but like for us in the summer, we just run that. We just speed worm that over everything. And I will say they got like something on them. They're really. You don't know this. I have a hand phobia, so I have to now do hand sanitizer because I have issues. All sorts of them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have a really unique spinnerbait in the garage I could go grab. That's nobody probably has ever seen it in their life.
All right, I'm back with the old Beco. It's called the Beco Bomb. This sucker has an 11-aught hook on it, and it's an ounce. It's 1 ounce, but you're just never going to see a jig like this anywhere else. Look at the head. Now this is a punching jig. It's made to punch through mats. The head's almost shaped like an arrow.
See, my only wonder on it is how is it going to get stuck? How's it going to be for being weedless in that stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't fished it. I mean, I
grabbed one to try. I figured it'd be fun to try it.
And he's he's an artist as well. His color schemes are beautiful. I got a couple of different colors. This one here is more of a Texas craw natural looking color, but to me they're just all that's crazy. And look at this hook. This is an owner hook. Look at that thing.
That's a big one.
It is huge.
I like the trailer keepers on that.
Yeah, he's got 2 on there, and this one with chartreuse on it's pretty sick looking as well. So obviously you have to decide when you're punching just how thick the mat is and whether or not you think you can get something in. But this is something most people are not going to be throwing, so it might give you a little edge. It's called the Beco Bomb.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I grabbed a couple off your recommendation after you showed those June bugs. I'm like, oh, okay. Went and added them to my cart. But we've got some places here that have kind of sparse. I shouldn't say sparse pads, but like pads. And if you look at lily pads up on the top, it looks really conglomerated and thick. But if you look down under the water, it's just a solid stem, under those.
Yeah.
So I figured trying some of those, but this is what I was going to show. Steve was showing that worm. So this is a culprit, an old culprit from the early 90s. What do they even call it?
They're right down the street from me.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Culprit has some awesome stuff. Oh, here, it's the
great people.
Ribbon?
Great
I forget what they call it, but it was just a cool, weird. I used this on the back of spinnerbaits actually back in the day for my spinner worm.
Huh.
But they still shoot their own plastic at the place in Claremont.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Culprit Tequila Sunrise. Great worm.
So I got the spinnerbait that I don't think anyone has ever seen. And this is a prototype lure that never made it into circulation. Ooh. And I don't know if you can see right here.
Yeah.
See how it's plastic?
Uh-huh.
So when a fish bites it, it's very it bends.
Oh,
like
so the wire doesn't go all the way through?
Yeah. So the wire starts right here.
Oh, I see now. Yeah. Now I do.
I think that would tear up really quick.
So this lure, no exaggeration, there was only maybe 10 of them made. And to have 10 of them made, they were, I think, to make the whole thing, They were about $1,500 each.
Oh, wow.
And then they never made them. We tested them, and we tested them, and we lost one on the first cast. And then we had a joke on the radio for like 6 weeks saying, "Hey, if anyone can fish Lake Underhill and find this in a fish's mouth, we'll give you like $300 worth of Sabia lures." And it never worked out, and it was just one of those things that Patrick had decided to try to make, and then maybe he could make it now, but financially, I mean, to make the lure, it was just going to cost too much. So they only made, like I said, they only made 10 of these, and the mold and everything. So it was I think it was like $15,000 to make the mold, and then 10 of them were made to try out to start off with. So that was where this one came from, and I've held on to it forever. And I've actually fished it.
I've got a really crazy spinnerbait as well that I bet most people have never seen, although you can still buy these. I think I'll go run grab it because it's like that, Steve. It's really different. I
think someone's trying to do that too, by the way. Now, someone asked, "Do you think Shimano's reels are overrated?"
Heck no.
Heck no. He's over there.
Heck no. So I go back and forth on this.
Yeah, I think certain ones.
I agree.
Might be and I'm sponsored by Shimano, so I need to clarify that. I think that there's certain ones that are just a little bit too expensive for the average angler.
Yeah,
and that's what I think I am, an average angler.
I would agree. I mean, I think the Curado K is one of the best baitcasters out there.
I agree.
As far as feel, price, and I think Shimano has the most refined feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've found myself being a Daiwa guy more. However, I think Shimano's are smoother. But I think, like, for example, the SLX in the $99 category, I see a lot of new people getting that and having trouble with it and having to put braid on it because the SLX has only the internal centrifugal brakes. And for a newer angler getting used to a reel, I don't think those are the best brakes. So I think that's a little overrated by some people because they say, it's the best. Even though I think the SLX is the smoothest out of the $99 reels, I think that if you're just starting out, I think a regular Doyo magnetic brake, like an LFS, is the best way to go, like a loose. So,
I don't think you can go wrong with the Vanford at all. I just think that for a spinning reel, I just don't think you can do anything wrong with it. So, but that's just me. I have a bunch of. I don't know if you can't see them over there. There's a bunch of.
No.
I don't even know what the. Hold on. I don't even know the name of the rods.
All right, I got this spinnerbait. We'll wait for Steve to come back so you can see this.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up giving them all away. Zodius.
Oh, you don't like them?
I'll have to tell you off air.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I think they're wonderful, but I signed on with TFO recently.
Oh, awesome rods. Awesome rods.
So they sent me They sent me a few to try out, and I just don't want to. I don't want to piss. I mean, literally just signed on as an ambassador, so I don't want to piss off TFO, to be honest. So I'm going to give these away.
Okay, so check out this spinnerbait. You can buy this on Tackle Warehouse right now.
Hell,
how heavy is it?
That's the way you get around throwing an A-rig in the States that only allow one hook.
It has only one hook. That's right. This is called the BA spinnerbait. And it's about $18. And it comes in the package like this, where they're all folded together so it fits in a flat package. And then you just spread out. You spread out the wings here, and you've got your little spinnerbait A-rig.
Spinner Bammer rig?
Spinner Bammer rig. Spinner umbrella rig.
That's pretty cool. I think Molex used to have one that was 3 blades. I feel like we're getting into the 6-minute, 7-minute, 8-minute abs fight here now.
Yeah. This is a heavy bait. It is a heavy bait, and I don't know if they make them lighter. Let's see on their website. They just show a ounce and a quarter.
Didn't Live Target make something similar, but it had baits on it?
The bait ball. Yeah, the bait ball.
But no, they had a spinnerbait one too.
Oh,
it has a 6/0 hook on it, and the guy that made this, he made it for catching fish on ledges, ledge fishing, basically.
That's what I was going to ask, if it was for deeper ledge fishing.
Because he was like, if I could get a spinnerbait down there where those fish are at, I guarantee you I could catch fish on it. And so that's it. And apparently it does quite well in that circumstance, obviously.
I know I know Live Target had a one bait, and then they had 3 little smallers that it was their version of an Alabama rig that was
the bait
pretty
ball.
decent.
The bait ball, yeah.
Oh, is that what it is called, the bait ball? Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've caught fish on those.
Yeah, I've got some of those as well. I've never thrown them much.
Too.
I have to say that's the only Live Target I've ever caught anything on other than the frog.
I think their frog is pretty good, if I remember right.
Their frog is very good.
Their frog is very good.
Is it the combat frog of theirs, or what's their?
The Scott Martin frog is really good.
Yeah, just the regular one. I was thinking they had like who's the combat frog, I think, is another one. I thought they had that one. Maybe not. No, okay. No. My buddy got a couple of these, and on the first cast threw it and snagged it, and he's like, I'm not even going to throw the other one.
Those suck so bad. I mean,
Do
that's
they?
another. Well,
They look cool in design.
frog
Well,
fur,
yeah, they're
baby.
catching anglers, not fish.
Frog fur.
Frog.
The legs come off. They give you a spare set of pinchers or whatever.
But I love it. I'm gonna have to use that frog fur.
I like the frog fur.
I know you do.
Some of them, I think, you got to watch out. Okay, so here we go.
It's just the perfect word.
Erase that off my whiteboard. Jitterbug versus whopper plopper. So back in the day, my buddy, we used to go stay at his grandpa's farm pond in the summers, and we put tents up, and he had 4-wheelers. We'd go 4-wheeler all day, and then at night, at dusk, we'd go out and throw jitterbugs on the pond at dark and smash fish, and keep throwing it in dark when all you can hear is boom. Okay, how many people do you know still throwing jitterbugs? Nobody, right?
Nobody.
Whopper ploppers, I love, which I know you said you don't have a lot of luck on them.
Everybody throws them.
Everybody throws them. So is it time to go back to something like a jitterbug?
It probably is. It probably is.
The Jitterbug 2.0 is not a bad bait.
That's the really bright one with like the feathers on it, right?
And the crackle on the back. It's pretty decent.
The problem with the regular size jitterbug is you almost have to throw it on a spinning setup. It's so light.
Yeah.
You know, but they do make a bigger size. I haven't thrown the bigger size much, but you're right. I used to just kill them as a kid, and you know, on a little black jitterbug right at dusk, man. Start throwing it, and
black one or that frog color that had like the yellow belly on it.
Yeah.
You want to know what the problem with jitterbugs is? I think if you're a new angler, you don't realize how slow you need to fish that bait.
You really do.
And if you overwork the bait, then you're not going to catch a fish on it, and you get frustrated really fast. It's like there's a guy down here that makes his name's Mark Nichols. He makes arguably the best shrimp. It just when it flutters down, it does this and it lands properly. But more and more people don't fish it because they just don't realize how slow you have to fish it. And that jitterbug's the same way. You start overworking it because you get frustrated with it, and you need
to look at the shrimp he's talking about.
Plop it. You probably won't find those on.
No, I'm kidding. This was on the lunker hunt. I just noticed that shrimp.
That one I don't like at all. I've used
Debo
that
the troll. I was trolling you. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Speaking of the jitterbug, Debo, have you ever thrown the yapper rat? It's a lunker hunt bait.
I have not. Burley said it's a good one.
It is good.
I don't trust Burley because he loves the spider, so I can't.
Who is this Burley guy, and where can we? Nah, I'm joking. Can you really say that? I cannot. I hate the yapper rat. Oh my god! You're going to make me get out of here early.
Listen, I have had some really nice days with the yapper rat. It really works. And the reason I thought of the apparat is it has this cup on it that's shaped really closely to that jitterbug, except it's a soft plastic. And I'm telling you, you can fish it over a lot of cover where you can't fish a jitterbug, and it has a very similar action. It works.
Yeah, for example, the Teckle Sprinker. Like I thought that was frog fur. Here's one.
Yeah. You're right. The Teckle works.
The Teckle does work.
Hold on, let me get my ear.
The Sprinker.
So I thought this was, as Mr. Bass would say, frog fur. No, I didn't pay originally $12. Again, thank you, Gander, for having these for like $4 a piece.
I need a gander or an
you need a gander. They have to go out of business. So our gander went out of business. So that's what you have to do is get one and then get it to go out of business.
Okay.
To where they mark everything like 60, 80% off. But anyway, I thought these were frog fur. Oh, I just knocked a bunch of stuff over. They have like a rotating deal back here. And for the longest time, I thought, dude, I'll just throw a regular frog. This is stupid. And like Mr. Bass was saying, you want to throw a whopper plopper or you want to throw something that does disturbance around muck? Can't do it. This you can.
Yeah.
So that it's made a stay in my arsenal. Let's do a few quick rapid fire this or that's, unless you guys have anything that you're dying to talk about or.
Go ahead. I like this. To be honest, I like this or that.
Yeah, dude, I might start doing this.
I mean, Mr. Bass is going to steal this idea, and we're giving it on Wednesday. And we'll give you full credit for it.
I'm going to steal it.
Give it to Mac.
Okay.
I'm going to call it the DEBO'S.
Mac joins in. Mac Flanagan.
We're going to call it the Mac this or that.
Yeah, I've never seen Mac on any of my live streams, but I'm going to start. I'll give him credit. The Mac this or that. Definitely give them
banana bread or pumpkin bread for sure. Pumpkin. I'm allergic to bananas. Bananas and cats are the two things I'm allergic to.
I would go banana, and I'm allergic to the yappa rat.
I'm also allergic to lunker hunt spiders. So
me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Me too.
Good.
I'm definitely going banana bread, especially if you got the chocolate chips in the banana bread. My wife does that for me sometimes, and that's crazy. It's killer.
I got to remember
this.
that.
Okay, and there was one I missed earlier. This or that, Win or Cork?
I'm going Cork.
I go back and forth on all of them. I can't say there's one that's better than the other. It depends on the fit. It's the fit for me. If it doesn't fit in my hand, I don't care what it is. It could be $10 million, the most wild cork from the Amazonian jungle. I don't care if it's not comfortable. I don't want it.
I was using, so before this switch, I was using castaway rods. And the key thing for me was I wanted wind grips on. In the middle of last year, I got really frustrated because I was missing fish nonstop. I went back to my, what I called Old Trusty, and it has a cork on it. And I found myself more and more enjoying cork again. So I'm going cork right now.
Yeah, I even like the Cashin rods. I got a Cashin Icon last year that I actually used the hell out of, and I'll have to show that when I do the review. It kind of like started to fray a little bit on them, but I mean, it's held up. It's when you hold it, it's almost hard like a basket, like because of that Kevlar weave. And I thought, dude, these things suck. Icon, what the hell are y'all thinking? But after you use it, it's really grippy and it's just a different feel. So
yeah, it is.
The only thing I like better than the cork, if you've ever tried the St. Croix Legend Extreme rod, it has a very, very unique handle. I love the feel of that handle. It's off
like
the
a
chart.
rubberish, soft rubberish.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like this.
Well, no, it's really uniquely different. It's like some sort
rod
of
is like unbelievably light.
Some sort of proprietary material they use. They only put it on that one rod, the Legend Extreme.
Probably Space Age.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Okay, one that I got. So I don't remember who said it. It was a really good question. Custom painted lures or crank wraps?
Custom painted for me.
A long time ago, Crank Wraps reached out to me and said, instead of custom painting lures, you could just use crank wraps. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's actually a really cool idea. Send some over to me. I've heard you guys. I've never got to try them. I don't know if they just thought I was showing off custom lures, and then they looked and saw that I actually painted stuff, and were like, oh, shoot. Never mind. Sorry, we spoke to you, nerd. They never sent me anything. I've always been interested in them. And you know what? For a guy that doesn't want to spend, because the cool part about a custom lure is you get something that nobody else has. It's really different looking. And if you want to really try to like hone in on a certain pattern, you can get a custom person to do that. right? Or you're supporting, somebody you like.
Yep.
But $12 is what I charge for my cranks. Is that expensive? Yeah. But there's a ton of time and work that goes into that. It's not like I can crank these out in 15 minutes,
Okay, hold on. So what you're saying is you can, because I'm going to make fun of something here. You can make your custom one that you paint yourself for $12.99.
That's what I sell it for, is $11.99. Yeah.
What in the hell is an Alex Rudd $16 lure from Japan then that isn't custom painted?
China.
I have no idea. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if you're mad at me or if you're gonna.
No, I'm not mad at you at all. I love you. It was in a box, and it pissed me off that they had a subscription box that said it was $16. Nothing against Alex. I'm not saying anything negative against Alex, but they said it was worth $16, even though I know it came from China.
They've lowered the price on that.
Oh, they did. Okay.
It's still fairly pricey. I'm going to look it up in their store right now.
See, that's the tough part, is with because I felt bad for the longest time making them that, and I'm like, you know what? It takes away from my family. It's a hard thing to get into, but can you get other striking baits that are $5 and work just as good as these, as long as you replace the hooks? Yeah, absolutely, you can. So custom baits aren't for everybody. I would never pitch that and be like, oh, my custom baits are better than anything. No, you can get awesome stuff off the shelf, 6 cents, but it's that unique, something crazy different. So I don't know.
You can match what is happening in the pond though better than
absolutely
something that, because when you go to and I don't know if you guys have ever done this, when they go look at what colors they're going to do for a run for a lure manufacturer, they get everybody together and they go, what ones sell best in this area? It isn't a matter of color or anything. They look at what sells here and what sells down at the end in Florida. And then they go, okay, well, this is going to sell well in these states, and this is going to sell well. And then they go, well, we need a purple bait. Well, what bait's really purple? But, oh, no, it'll catch the attention of the anglers, so let's make the purple ones because it will sell a lot to the guys that aren't worried about anything, but they like the color. There's too many times that bait manufacturers only make a bait to sell it to us. And when you make something custom, you can go, okay, I'm matching the hatch of this that's there, and that has everything to do with how confident you are after you get that bait in your hand.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Again, goes right back to your confidence and your loyalty to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've caught more fish on this custom than anything.
Well, the thing about a custom bait, I totally agree with what you're saying there, Debo. I just don't know how you can do it for only $12. It just seems to me like there's just
cheap.
So much work goes into that. Same thing, Stoneman lures. I think he charges about the same price, somewhere around $10 or $11, and I'm just like, golly, that is a steal for the kind of work that you're doing on those baits. That lipless you sent me, if you're selling that thing for $11, I mean, that is a steal.
Sign me up.
It is a steal.
Yeah, I think I charge $1 more or $2 more on those because of the hooks. You can't get those hooks in bulk, so that ups the price. But yeah, it's definitely not something I'm going to make millions on. Let's put it that way. But it's fun. I'm telling people, it's my what the hell's even the word for it?
Your relaxed time.
Yes. And I always have a word I try to use. I don't know. Anyway, yes.
Okay.
So Camp Waffle. Go ahead.
I was just going to set Steve right here. To be fair, the Alex Rudd Hammerhead is $9 now.
Okay. I understand that now. Thank you. I mean, I'm not going to buy another one, but the $15.99 when it came in the box, I was livid about. And I think they called me too.
Camp Waffle Stomper for my DEBO whiteboard fund. So I've got a whiteboard fund and a wireless earbud fund going. I appreciate you all. This is why I have the best.
That's awesome.
330 people in here still. We're coming up on 2 hours. I need to do my second giveaway too. I'll get that in a second. I think I saw a couple more donations. I don't want to leave anybody out that donates. And anybody that's a member. So just like Jeff has the little symbol there, anybody that has become a member and is supporting me, I appreciate that a ton. I want to do some fun live streams like this to members only. and I want to try to do some like kind of seminar things to help people on my member only stuff. So I think that'll kind of be fun ways to give back, and it'll only be for the people that are members. But we'll get
sign up
here in the coming weeks. So sign up and help me out.
Heck
Come
yeah.
on, bro. No, if you do, great. If you don't have the money, no worries. I try to fill these with info and fun anyway on the regular ones. Little support to help the channel, bud. Keep up the good work. Always enjoy it. Jeff, Mr. Elliott, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the $10. And I think I saw one more pop in. I am so far behind on comments. I can't keep up. Hey, fellas, this or that, Max Scent or JJ's Magic? I think, is JJ's more of a Southern thing?
I use JJ's Magic a lot.
Okay, because we have Spike It. Everywhere up here always sells like Spike It. So I've honestly never used JJ's Magic, but I think not the Max Scent. I like just the regular Power Bait scent. I think out of any company, I think it's the best, like fishiest. I've had confidence in Power Bait stuff a long time. It could be frog fur. I don't know. So I'd say Max Scent Power Bait.
What do you think, Steve?
So do you know do you know how long when a bass bites, how quick a bass bites and then can figure out if it's real or not it is? Do you know what the time of that is?
6 months?
Probably half a second.
It's 0.28 of a second. And to set a hook is like 0.26 of a second. Longer. When you use that, when it's a little bit longer on the bass side. But if you use that power scent, a bass usually holds on to that like it's like 0.73 of a second. So they hold on to it almost twice as long or 3 times as long than a bait that doesn't have it. So you have a longer, you have a better chance of setting the hook.
Here they say 18 times longer.
Yeah. I don't.
Why not this focus? There we go. 18 times longer.
Yeah, that sounds like a little bit of frog fur there.
Yeah,
but
I think I might have a video.
Hell, I should have just held up the thing here. So 1 second for any stupid custom baits, 3 seconds for lunker hunt, and 18 seconds for power bait is what it says.
Right on.
1 second for unscented.
Let me break my wallet out.
3 seconds for regular scent and 18 seconds for power bait.
Wow.
I got confidence in that. I don't know about
I will tell you.
I would go Max Scent.
That Max Scent, I was up at the St. Lawrence River this summer fishing a tournament up there, and I had flatworms, regular flatworms that had no Max Scent, and the guy in the back of my boat had Max Scent. We're both throwing the same lure. He was killing me. He was really killing me on that with that Max Scent. So then I borrowed some of his Max Scent. And
did you start catching them then?
Yeah, it works.
Wow.
I mean, it especially up there on those smallies up there up north. Now down here, I haven't tried it as much, and I almost think Max Scent versus JJ's Magic is not really the same thing. It's kind of like apples and oranges because Max Scent is, you can only get it with one brand of baits.
Texas Huntsman.
And here's the beauty of JJ's Magic. If you got the right conditions, you can actually get that stuff to explode. If you're in a really hot environment and you get those bottles shaken up, you can really do some damage to your boat. That stuff is potent. But man, it works. It works.
The whole thing of Spike It on Randy's back once when I was trying to put it back in his bag.
Yeah, Spike It's powerful too, but I'm telling you, JJ's Magic makes Spike It seem pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah. JJ's Magic. I use them both. I use Spike It and I use JJ's Magic.
I'm gonna have to order some. I've never used it. I've heard people talk about it.
It's glass jars, so that's where you got to be careful. I keep mine wrapped up and they're glass jars. So, and I'm not kidding. They get pressurized as they heat up. They get pressurized, and they will do. You've got to take the lid off real careful and let that air go out of it, and then you're fine. If you pop it open real quick when it's hot and it's pressurized, it's going to go all over you.
Here's a scent that you've never used. John Cox juice.
That's true. I know about John Cox juice thanks to you.
Phenomenal.
I've never tried it.
I don't know where you get it, to be honest. He lives right around the corner.
Not sure what to say right now.
I used to get, in all honesty, I used to get in so much trouble on the air because I would go, everybody should be using Cox juice. And my producer would be going crazy. And I had to show him that it was it's called Cox juice.
It was on a real thing. Warehouse, Debo.
Okay, let's look
phenomenal.
Phenomenal. I wasn't sure what to say. I thought you were leading me down a frog fur path.
No. It's really that good.
It's the real deal.
I actually put my stick worms and marinate them in them for 3 weeks before I use them.
Just search Cox juice and you'll find it.
I don't feel comfortable searching that.
Because later on your search thing is going to be
No, don't let my wife look at my Taco Warehouse search history.
It's really that good.
Your porn filter won't let you type that in.
Here we go. There we go. Okay.
There it is.
I thought this was fake. Yeah, so Johnny Cox.
It's $25 though.
Shut up. Is it really?
For 4 ounces.
Damn.
Oh. Hey, you want to know what? I'll send you a bottle. Don't buy it. I'll send you a bottle. Because I know I have.
Wow.
I have those 4 ounce ones in cases.
Jesus, I don't even know what to say, man. Okay, well, here.
It's funny. Years ago, I met John years ago, but he was slaughtering it on FLW, and I kept going, "What are you doing differently than everybody else?" And then he ended up saying, "I'm starting this. I've been using this scent that this old man showed me how to make, and I'm not telling anybody about it." And then years later, he was like, "I think I'm going to sell it," and he started making it, and it really, really works. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's a horrible name, but
yeah, I knew chat was going to take off. This is some interesting chat.
Yeah.
I like that everyone's spelling it the wrong way, by the way.
Yeah. Hashtag Cox, COX, Johnny Cox. That's his last name, people.
That's right.
I don't know what all you were thinking.
His last name.
Get out of
it.
Mine's
a
out of
family show.
How good is that guy, by the way? How good is John Cox?
Oh, dude, Johnny Cox is a stud.
Hey, Johnny Cox also throws those generals like crazy, and I'm sure he's going to be using Maxent.
Wasn't Johnny Cox the one who retired, had something happen, and he retired, stopped fishing for a while, right? And then had to come back and won like the whatever Bassmaster that was after he stopped? Was that John Cox or no?
I don't think so.
No, that's somebody else.
So I'm going to spoil something. He has a pond in his backyard. He owns like 3 houses. Every 10-pound fish he's caught in the last, 10 years is in the back of his house. And they're so trained to go after giant bluegill that he can feed them with his hand and they'll come up and eat out of his hand. 10-pounders. He used to be a fishing guide, and what he would do is he'd drop the ass end of his boat in the water and then charge the people to go fish in his pond with just the back end in the water because the fishing was so good. True story.
I wouldn't know.
He lives like right there.
I gotta go try that pond. I need me a double-digit bass.
Unbelievable guy. Probably the most down-to-earth angler there is on the face of the earth. Actually, when you talk to him, he always says that he's white trash. That's what he calls himself. He is not. He is absolutely fantastic. He's a beautiful person, and he's
one of them
just good.
There was a really good story on one of them that I thought it was Johnny Cox that stopped fishing or thought he was going to retire. I'll have to go look that up. It was a really cool story I read. Then he come back and he only had like he came back and he's like he's only got like 3 rods on the deck. He's like, screw it, I'm only using these 3 combos: buzzbait, something else, and won it. And was like, I guess I still got it with like not a sponsored boat, just like some one of his regular boats. Okay, let's draw another winner. Then maybe we'll go. Do you boys want to go for what, another 15 minutes?
Sure. Mike Dove from Thunderhawk says hello, by the way.
Oh, hey, Mike. Yeah.
He's texting me.
So I said I might get a package from Thunderhawk.
You
Thunderhawk
are.
reached out to me, and said that that they might be sending me some stuff. So maybe, and I appreciate that a ton. They don't need to,
I think Mr. Bass is also getting a box.
Oh.
Yeah. He's sending me one. We've been talking.
That's pretty sweet. Let me see here. Let me get my share screen up. Let's see. What should my hashtag be? I guarantee I know. I was going to say, if anybody in the comments says it, I said, oh, outdoor angling, already had it up there.
Yep.
I knew somebody was going to put that for the next one. Okay. No, we're not putting that.
Cox gravy.
This is a family show, and it's spelled COX, people. Come on. Mine's out of the gutter. Oh, I like it. Patrick.
Frog fur.
Frog fur.
Can't put that. Rand Dizzle in the comments. Dizzle, how are you, buddy? I love you. I wish you could have been on. Dizzle has no voice. I haven't been watching, but he's been moderating for me. Same for Hellabass in the chat. Might be who DEBO'S talking about winning on a buzzbait when he came back to FLW. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, because he stopped fishing for a while. Because I think Johnny Cox has always been kind of minimalistic on a lot of places where he's so confident. He'll just put like a buzzbait and like 2 rods and be like, this is it. I know they're going to eat these.
Is Blind Eye Fishing in Orlando? Because he said it's $20 at Bitters. He must live near me. Blind Eye Fishing.
I don't know. Blind Eye Fishing.
Because Bitters is right here. He can come to the frog pond if he wants.
We'll keep it really easy. I know probably nobody put this in. Oops, no, I'm not trying to share and invite people. Share screen.
Why don't you make it DEBO'S Custom Lures?
Hashtag Steve. We had one for Mr. Bass.
Right on.
We're just
that
going
sounds
to do a
good.
hashtag Steve, and there's our hashtag Steve. My second custom bait will go in there for you, and then I'll throw in some tackle, some old stuff that I have, and maybe some new, because I appreciate y'all. We've stayed at 300 people almost the whole time, and we're still at 2 hours. I cannot believe you guys.
Dude,
Everybody out there
killed it.
Thank you. Well, it's a lot of fun. Like I was telling Mr. Bass before, my urge has finally been coming back to do videos, but over December, I think I only put out like 3 or 4 videos. Like my urge to do videos was just killed. And I just felt beat and defeated. And I was like, I don't even want to do YouTube right now.
Why is it just because
I just get so busy, like trying to think of good stuff, and you can't fish. Like it always happens in winter. Like I can't go fish. I can't do anything outside. Like I'm stuck in my basement. People are tired of seeing my damn basement. But I just need to quit whining and get my butt back into doing this stuff. So let's see if there's any this or that's out there. If you've already entered, you only need to enter once. Hashtag Steve. Let's try to get to 200 entries here because it's fun and I like 200. If we have any this or that's, if you've already entered, feel free to share some. We'll answer a couple here while we're going. I don't think I had anything else to talk about. Some old lures coming back.
Get your fish on.
Get your fish on. What else do you guys have? What else is in your court? You guys have anything you want to talk about?
I'm fishing the golf course tomorrow morning.
Do you have like a golf course pond you can actually you have access to, or is this like an old one that's
I mean, I don't have access to it. I just go really early until they kick me out.
Okay, fair enough.
And I mean, there isn't signs that say you can't fish. But I've found that when I get there and I get there early, that people start aiming their golf balls at me. So I try to get in there early and try to slide out of there really fast.
Just don't get caught. Don't be getting arrested.
Yeah, I don't want to do that either. I'm too old for that, man.
Oh yeah, me too. This is that G fan. Go ahead.
One of the things that kills me, I see all these YouTube videos about getting kicked out of this or doing that, and I'm like, do I really need to make a video like that to boost myself, or do I just need to just be myself as much as possible? Yeah. I've been kicked out of there a few times. I like when the guy says to me, "I'm going to call the police officers." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead." By the time they get here, I'm going to be gone, so it doesn't matter.
Well, folks at home, I wouldn't advise going on there if you don't have access. However, it sounds like Steve might know somebody there, so he's okay being there.
Yeah.
However, up here in Iowa, and I would assume a lot of places around the country, if you get caught trespassing, there's a very good chance they're not just going to say, "Get off my land." There's a lot more that they will do to you. So though it might look funny, some of these kids doing that on some of these ritzy places, places like here and some rural spots around, you might get more than you've bargained for. So Don't trespass on other people's land.
I like this or that from Kim.
Yeah, so G-Fan's a good supporter. He actually sent me some blanks to paint and said,
Nice.
here, take your mind off of life and paint. So G-Fan, I appreciate you, a good supporter. You catch a PB, so this or that. You catch a new PB every year, or your kid catches a state record fish. I think that's easy. Anybody that's a parent is always going to answer that their kid catches it, for sure.
I'm there.
If you don't have kids, then I
Yeah.
want to catch a PB every year.
What is, just out of curiosity, what are your 2 largest fish you've ever caught between the 2 of you? Largest bass?
I'm right at 7.
Okay.
I'm just under 10, man. It just burns me that I didn't get the 10.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a little ahead of you guys.
Yeah, but you're in
Sure.
Florida.
Yeah, I am in Florida.
And that's something else people have to think about too, is, people, I've talked about it on YouTube before, people see these YouTubers, oh, new PB, oh, I caught this 11-pounder. Well, they're fishing in some, little private farm pond thing, or, some gated residence, which is fine. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. Just explain that to the people, because so many people see it and like, why can't I catch anything over 4 pounds? The biggest bass in your lake that you're fishing your pond might be a 4-pounder. So just keep that in mind wherever you're at. Don't be sad. Try to be your best and be your best fisherman, not trying to beat everybody else you see. That'll come with time.
Yeah.
What's your PB, Steve?
14.24. We had like, I don't want to be, I hate name dropping, but Patrick has a pond behind his house, and nobody can fish it but 3 people. There's 3 people on a 420 acre pond, and we've gotten 2 fish over 16 in that pond. And so you can't go, well, I can go down there and just slaughter fish because there's no pressure at all, and get that. But I don't do that. The places I've done well are all public places, and other than the frog pond, but the frog pond doesn't have any. It has a couple that are like 5 or 6 that we've 5, 6, 7 that we put in. But all the places I go fish, I fish from the bank, and I just try to search out those places. And in Florida, every retention pond has bass.
That's the thing, right? Yeah. Don't they have to? Isn't there some sort of deal, like if they have any sort of retention thing, they have to stock it or something? Is that right?
They have to stock it. So any place that you even, like, you'll drive down the freeway and you'll see people fishing in retention ponds that are on the turnpike, and you're like, why would someone do that? But those places, after time after time after time, those fish get big, and the only problem I would say is there's just not enough bait fish to make them grow fast.
Yeah.
So, we have it a little bit different than everybody else.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's what I just tell people. Just keep in mind, where you're at and what your lake and stuff has. Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just the way I justify having such a small PB, I guess, maybe. But
yeah,
I'm going to stick with that story.
I'll take it. If you come down here, like I've been telling Mr. Bass, come down here. I have 2 public places. There's one that you pay like $10 to fish. It's not really public, but it is public. But I bought a pass for life, and it's got some giant fish in it, but it's pressured. But it's got some absolutely giant, some 12, 14, 15-pound fish in it. Now, I've only caught 2 over 10 in it, but I've seen one fish that scared me. It was so big. I actually thought it was an alligator in the water, because I was like, all I could see was its shadow, and I'm like, look at the gator sitting there. And then I realized, oh my gosh, it's a bass. And then the brain started finally working again, and then by that time I scared it.
We have those up here, but they're just grass carp.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's pick a winner. I don't like 189. We need one more, 190.
One more person.
This or that, clip or split ring on jerkbaits. Clip or the split ring. I don't, if they come with split rings, I don't do anything special. I don't tie a loop knot. I don't go to a clip. I suppose you could, but I just use the split rings on it. The thing you have to watch out with jerkbaits is I usually fish them in colder water when they're suspending. So if you start messing with hardware and changing hooks and clips and rings, you're going to mess up, or could potentially mess up the buoyancy if you want it to suspend perfect And if you start messing stuff up, it might either start floating or sinking, which maybe that's what you want, but just got to be careful with that.
I know one angler, one buddy that is world renowned. He puts a clip on everyone. I don't put a clip on anything, me personally.
He takes the split ring off.
Yeah, every time everything. But that's
some people say you get more. You get more of a free action with more move there. But
I do a loop knot though.
Yeah, I didn't use clips until I started watching Frank Skalich over at Bass Talk Live, and he puts clips on all of his crankbaits. So I've started doing that. He persuaded me that it's faster, easier, and you don't really lose a lot of fish.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends on the clip. There's some crappy clips out there, man.
Yes.
And you gotta, if you're gonna
never use the brass ones that just have like the one thing that you move under. I can't tell you how many of those I've been out. Like, don't go with those. Get a good clip. Okay, let's pick our giveaway. We got 191. Here we go. I am sharing. Yes. And the winner is. Oh, I thought it was going to be Philip Rob. Oh, man. Everett 1984. Are you still here, friend?
Is he
almost
here?
Had good old Philip. We almost had Rob. A couple good supporters that are usually always on. Let's see. What else do we have for questions? We'll answer a few more questions and we'll get out of here.
Debo, have you thrown any poop baits yet? Like
I actually just got some.
Cat or anything?
I don't know if Chris is on yet. Chris sent myself and Randy some cover scats and some free weight rigs that I'll be sharing in an unboxing. Chris is another Iowa guy here, good supporter. But he sent me my first poop bait cover scats to use. They're interesting.
They are interesting. Yep, I've only thrown them once and didn't have much luck, but it was a really cold day with cold water.
Chris.
But I'm starting to throw them. Starting to throw
them. Let's see. Everett, are you here?
Yeah, I saw him.
Oh, he was? Okay. Or she?
Oh, yeah, he or she. Sorry.
I'm here.
I could have swore I saw.
Bulldog says he gone.
He gone.
I heard Frolic says I heard him leave 10 minutes ago. Oh, Rob. Yeah, Rob is in here. Well, obviously he's here if he entered, but yeah, Rob, another good supporter. Julie and I go on Mike's video on how to tie them. Oh, Gramps, are you did you do a video on it? Little self-promotion there. I don't mind it. Promote away.
How good is he? He has a great channel too.
Oh yeah, Gramps is a good cat.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't see Everett. on here. Let's answer a couple this or that's. Here's one. Outdoor. This or that. Watch fishing or watch Dizzle. Oh my god. I should have filtered it with before I read it. Well, I've already got it up there now. This or that. Fishing or watch Dizzle on OnlyFans with. And for those just joining, Cox Juice is Johnny Cox's bait scent attractant. Yes. Don't get your mind in the gutter. I would rather watch MLF. I really enjoy MLF. I know a lot of people are like, oh, all they do is catch dinks. It's dumb.
Everett I don't know. Says he's here. There he is.
Everett is here. Okay, Everett.
I'm not a fan of Dizzle. I think that she's a very attractive girl. I'm just not. I'm married and I want to stay married.
Wait a minute. Wait, Dizzle's my buddy Randy. That's always.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was. There's a girl called Dizzle Fishing that she's a.
Oh no, Dizzle's my buddy.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. Dizzle's pretty hot. I don't know. I'll give him that. He's.
I don't think he's hot enough to watch.
It's Dar Sizzle, as I was thinking about. Dar Sizzle.
No.
Sorry, Dizzle.
That's not Dizzle.
Obviously, this Dizzle is better looking than Dar Sizzle.
Yeah, Dizzle's pretty handsome. He's a handsome cat. Okay, what else? Well, outdoor angling. Thanks for tricking me into that one. I should have learned to read these before I just slap one up there. And good Lord, you guys and gals. Okay. Everett. Send me and also whoever I didn't even write down whoever it was that won before. Maybe they already emailed me. But if Mac, you just send me,
I think
it wasn't Mac. Mac Flanagan's the this or that Mac.
Oh, okay.
Whoever it was, just send me a screenshot of your YouTube, like where you type, so I know it's you and your account, just so the people trying to take advantage of old Debo can't. So just send me a screenshot of your YouTube thing showing it's you, and just email me there, debosfishing@gmail.com. Okay, what do you guys think? Should we call it a night? Do we want to answer a couple more? What do you guys? Up to you all.
Yeah, I'm fine. What are you going to do?
Yeah, whatever you want to do. If there's some up there,
we'll do a couple more. This has been a lot of fun. Again, Steve, Mr. Bass, thank you guys so much for joining.
Thank you, man.
It's been a blast. Yeah, for sure.
It's really been fun.
Here's a good one.
Ooh.
And I could go down a rabbit hole on this one. This or that, Daiwa or Shimano, specifically the Tatula line. So I think the MagForce brakes on Daiwa are some of the easiest to use, and I think some of the best, absolute best brakes out there. If you're casting into the wind, as far as control, I don't know. That's kind of my take. I think Shimano takes the cake at being the smoothest, most what's the word? Refined feeling baitcaster. But it's kind of all personal preference. I like both. What do you guys got?
I can't answer that one.
Oh, yeah.
Without getting in trouble.
Steve works with Shimano. That's all right.
I love them both. I use both, but I probably lean more towards Shimano than I do Daiwa. I feel like the Shimanos just fit in my hand better than the Daiwas do.
That's another thing. Yeah, the Daiwas tend to be a little bit longer, a little bit bigger. I feel like people with, a different hand shape. It all depends on how it fits.
There was one about 6 cents fishing or 6 cents cranks or Strike King cranks.
Yeah, I think that was
Fishing the Southeast. Brandon. Or Brendan.
I don't know where it's at, but we'll just go ahead and answer it. I'm scrolling up. I don't want to get tricked in another outdoor angling trap here. I would say 6 or Strike King, because I've used them longer as far as fish caught. I know they work. The thing I hate about them is you got to replace the hooks. Like the hooks on Strike King are garbage. Mm-hmm. Unless maybe they have like some of the higher priced ones. But I'm a big fan of like you have to have good hooks. So Strike King stuff or 6 cent stuff all comes with good hooks.
Yeah, for sure.
Really good paint schemes. I haven't put in as much time with theirs, but I mean, there's a reason they're so popular. They're making good stuff. But what do you guys think?
Go ahead.
I say it depends, and that's not a good answer for this or that. If you're talking square bills, I like the Strike King KVD 1.5s much better. However, there's a ton of other crankbaits that I think 6 cents does way better on. So overall, if you look at the whole body of lures, I think I would pick 6 cents over Strike King.
I think I would probably pick 6 cents over Strike King myself. I think that over the last few years, I think 6 cents has been absolutely on fire with a majority of their baits. Now, I'm not talking about their 6 cent sack or whatever that is. Their baits really, really
that
are
3
good.
times fast, Steve?
Yeah, I couldn't do that. They're really good these days. Their components are made well. The hooks are good. The paint jobs are good. So it's tough to say that because there are some Strike King stuff that you can't live without. I mean, that KVD 1.5, you need to have that in your bait tackle box. But 6 cents is on fire lately, man.
Yeah, I just haven't put enough time in with them. But as far as paint schemes, they've got some of the coolest paint schemes out there. They look like almost, a lot of them almost look like custom stuff. So.
They really do. They're beautiful.
And good hooks.
Great hooks compared to Strike King.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was another one way up here. If you guys see any, feel free to call them out. What was it? There was one about rods.
6 cents or Guggen. Jabberjaw.
Somebody put we always have to tip our hats to the Guggen question. We always get one Guggen question. It's usually, why do you hate Guggen? As I talk about every time, I don't hate Guggens. I don't hate the Guggen products. I don't know why people think that, but like every live stream, we have to get it out.
Right.
You either love everything Guggen or you hate everything Guggen. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be that way. I like the Trench Hog and I like the Rattlin' Neds. of those, I think they are pretty killer.
I like the rattling Neds a lot myself.
Yeah, as far as the rest of the stuff, again, it comes down to what are you confident in?
Mm-hmm.
And Randizzle uses a lot of the Guggen stuff and likes it. He's actually, I don't know if I still have his email. He applied to be one of the new Guggens. So he's trying to get on Team Guggen. I've heard with his OnlyFans and with people like Steve saying how good he looks, that he might be one of the new clothing models. So
he's got a shot. He's got a shot.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So yeah, I don't hate Guggen. They make some cool stuff. But it was either Guggen or Strike King. Somebody said
it was Guggen or 6th Sense, and Guggen stole half their lures from 6th Sense. So
oh gosh, we're getting into this. Oh no, we're not getting into that on my channel. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, enough of that. We don't hate Guggens here.
No, I don't. Actually, Fish in the Gram said John B, the greatest Guggen. I think John B makes some of the best videos there is.
Oh yeah, that's what we get talking about. Is like it's funny because people look at them now, and I think so much of the Guggen hate is just out of jealousy.
Yeah, it is.
Young kids with so much money, and they've blown up. But like I tell people, go back and look at their early videos, and they were horrible. They sucked. Yeah. The early videos were garbage. Little kids on there with like, oh, look at this. It's like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
But man, they worked their butts off. So yeah, I have nothing but we joke about it. We joke about it every time though on my stream because like there's always one person that's like, do you love or hate Guggens? It's like, oh, our annual talk about it.
The soft plastics I've received from Guggen just don't last. They just I've had like little bluegill come up, blow up on a bait and on a frog or something, and out of nowhere I'll be missing a leg. I'm like, how would that little bluegill do this? And if you ever watch their videos, they're constantly changing their baits after every bite or non-bite. So I think they catch fish. They just need to put a little bit more emphasis on making their plastics better. That's all I would say. Yeah, and that is not love or hate. That's just being critical.
Yeah. Nope. And I appreciate that. And it's always a tough conversation for me because that's the biggest complaint I hear. And what Randy and I have talked about and looking at is that they don't last, right? They don't have very good durability. Well, you look at Yamamoto stuff, you look at Kitex, it's the same thing. But they all three are amazing catch fishers or fish catchers, right? Except for Guggen, I haven't put in enough time with them. But Kitex, Yamamoto's, amazing baits, they don't last. Yeah. Both of those have a higher salt content, and I think that's probably what Guggen did. So you definitely get a different look, and it's like I don't know how to explain it, but it's a different plastic, and if you have luck on that and don't mind buying a bunch of bags, more power to you. But
they sent me a bunch of frogs to try out. I'll be honest, I killed them one morning with them, and I was like, "This is the greatest thing of all time." But I caught like 13 or 14 fish, and I went through 5 bags of lures.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on with this? I'd never gotten more than one fish on one bait. And then that's kind of, and then I thought, well, if I would have bought whatever they sent me, it would have been probably $70 or $80 in baits.
Yep. For a morning of fishing.
Yeah. And there's too many other frogs that are as good or better that are less, the toad or whatever it was that you can get and save yourself money, because I just don't want to go out and buy that many baits.
And I always try to find a middle of the road, because I think there is a big difference. Like if you go to it's not Yum. I always want to say Yum Dinger, and I don't know why I try to give them a bad rap. But there's a certain stick bait out there that's horrible. Holds up amazing, but there's no salt in it. It doesn't sink well. It has no action. Versus like a Yamamoto, sinks amazing, great action, but it tears up, So if you can find something in the middle where it's got a good action, but a decent price, and I always say like the Bass Pro Sticko, I think it's the best all around stick bait out there. Good price, you can get them on sale, good salt content, good action to it, somewhere in the middle of the road. So it's like, I always try to kind of look for that too.
Yeah.
Good action, but not going to break the bank. What were some other ones? Let's answer a couple more. Gosh, we've kind of gone.
How about Pit Boss versus Sweet Beaver?
Oh yeah, that's a close one to the heart. Where was that? I did see that one. Baitcaster disaster. I like the name. Do I have any here? I don't. I do have some of the old Havoc worms though.
Oh.
I don't think I have any pit bosses. No, I don't think I do. That's tough. I mean, I've been a sweet beaver lover for a long, long time, but I have a pit boss too. I would say I've probably caught more fish on a pit boss just because I've used them for so much longer. But I don't know. That's a tough one.
I got to go with the beaver. I love.
That's what she said.
We're back.
He's just tossing him up. I've been holding back, dude.
And now we know what hashtags are going to start flowing through.
We're back to that again.
Yep.
I think that the sweet beaver just kind of revolutionized things, and I started with them when they came out, and I'm really attached to them. And I think they got great colors, just so many awesome colors.
Well, that I tipped over.
And I know to Steve that doesn't matter a whole lot, but to me, I love my colors. And the pit boss is great, though. I mean, I have both, and I throw both, but my preference is definitely the beaver.
As I don't know who said it.
So I felt stupid. I have to shout out Randizzle for letting me know I only used the 4.2, the 420 beavers forever. And I didn't know they made the smaller beaver. So I have to shout Randizzle out for that. So if you all have never seen the Reaction Innovation, this is the old package with the risque ladies on there that they got.
And they make a bigger one too. Bigger one than the 4.2.
Yeah, they do now. But this is the beaver. They come together. You pull these apart. This is one of my secret colors. I try not to share this one a lot, but it's the old black light, little black and ooh.
Very nice.
I mean, very simple. It's a good cold water lure. If you never tried one, try them out. Reaction Innovations makes some awesome stuff.
As Hellabass said, been a beaver lover for a long time, for as long as I can remember. I am right there with Hellabass.
All right.
Bass Geek Hank in here. Hank, how are you doing, brother? Good friend of the channel. This or that spinning combo or bait casting combos for jerk baits.
Oh, that's a good one, Bass Geek.
I don't throw the mini jerk baits a lot. Like if it's just the regular, like a 6 cents, whatever their size is, or like an I'm a flit, I use a bait caster. But on those little ones, I think you'd almost have to use a spinning rod.
I'm a bait cast guy for jerk baits. I do throw some jerk baits with my spinning setup, but I like bait casting better.
I'm all spinning on that one.
Missile baits or Z-Man?
Ooh. We're going to offend somebody here.
That's another one of those apples to oranges, I think. They're so
anytime
they have baits that look similar, but there's nothing similar about those in my opinion.
I think I'd go missile baits. I think I would. The D-Bomb, I think, is a very underrated. I feel like a lot of people don't give it enough of a chance.
It is a great bait.
They're like, man, this thing is pretty BA.
It is great.
The Missile Bait 48, I put in a lot of time with this year, like a weighted wacky rig. I like that.
I am going to apologize to Josh right now, and I apologize in case he ever sees this. But I'm going to go Missile Baits too. And I'm
going Z-Man.
That I'm saying that.
And I'm just thinking out of the amount of different things I use from them, Z-Man TRD, I mean, it's really hard to beat the original TRD.
The Goats is good too. Yeah.
I haven't got to use it enough. I used it on a buzz bait. It was awesome.
The Goats is really good.
I need to put more time in with that one. How were you using it?
So I only use that on a chatterbait. So
okay.
It's the only other chatterbait trailer I use because I only on a jackhammer or whatever chatterbait I use use a Smash Tech Blade Aid religiously. But if I need to have a little bit of a smaller profile, that's when I put a Goats on.
Is this on Tackle Warehouse Smash Bait?
It's called Smash Tech. They made it specifically for chatterbait. It's called Blade Aid, Smash Tech Blade Aid. They're usually sold out. I own more of those than any bait there is. I just sent some to Gramps.
Well, I'm all about Z-Man for a lot of
Probably
reasons.
gonna sell out now.
One is I'm a big Ned rig fisherman. I love all their Ned rig baits.
Yeah.
All of them. I throw them all. I really like their swim baits. I think they're awesome and very durable. The thing about Z-Man, they're all super durable. But here's the thing that pushes me over the edge on Z-Man, which is not a fair comparison to missile baits. Chatterbait, jackhammer.
Well, yeah. I'm only looking at it as soft plastic.
Yeah, I was just thinking soft plastics. Yeah. I guess that's a different. Yeah,
to me, I spend way more money every year on Z-Man products than I ever do missile baits.
That's true. Yeah. So here's what Steve was talking about. This thing is cool. I've never heard of this. I've never even heard of this company.
Yeah, I hadn't either. And he sent me a pack of those, and I've been throwing it on my chatterbait. And he's right.
It doesn't. Is it just flat here? It doesn't. You can't get a different angle.
No. Yeah. There's.
It's flat at the end, but it's tapered in the middle and has that. It looks like it's got ridges there. So it just like when I talked to Brett Height about when he made it. This was the bait he said that he was. It isn't one of his, but he's like, this is a perfect one. And then I bought some. I did a closer look on it, and then I put it in the water, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. But it's a little long. I will say it's just slightly a little long.
It's 5 inches. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even need the eyes. You can chop the eyes.
Yeah, I bite it off.
Well,
I think that's.
I've never even heard of these.
I think that's the best trailer bait for a jackhammer of all time. And
it's good, but one thing to keep in mind, it's a single tail. It's not a split tail.
Yeah.
So that
it just does this in the water. That's all it does.
And yeah, a lot of times that's what you want is something that's not going to do a lot. Almost, like a fluke with just it has no action of its own. The chatterbait has to impart the action on it.
I have so many of that black and blue and that whatever that second color is, pumpkin, or third color, excuse me. I can't even tell you how many of those I have. I might have.
It's a good spinnerbait trailer too.
I might add some. I'm going to make a little order after this tonight.
Yeah, that one. You'll like that one. That's a really good one.
Here's my guy. Speaking of Chonch, who sent me the Mega Bass and my local JDM dealer. He's not even local, but Chonch, appreciate you, brother. If you could pick one soft plastic non-Berkeley to have made with plastic scent. The hell am I sniffing plastic? To have made with Max scent. One plastic non-Berkeley to be made with a Max scent.
Oh my gosh, that's a really tough one. You know that?
I got one.
Really? What is it?
The Yamamoto Cowboy.
Oh, that was
Cowboy, really?
Yeah, the Cowboy.
For people that have never seen the Cowboy, I feel like nobody uses that one either.
That is a great bait.
I'm trying to think of what plastic I would like. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah, man, I don't know either. I would say, I wasn't even showing crepes.
Hellabass, the menace grub. I'm totally with you there. That would be great to have a menace grub in.
That would be good.
Well, there's the Cowboy.
That's a good bait.
Versatile bait. It's much more durable than you might think, even as a Yamamoto, but a lot of ways to rig that and fish it.
Yeah, the flapping hog, I feel like, is another good one that people don't really talk about.
Oh, yeah. And I love the flapping hog.
That's one that I used to use quite a bit. I got a bunch of those again on sale. The first time Gander went out, we had Gander here once. It went out of business, and I got a bunch of stuff at like 80% off, but it was like the very end, 90% off. I remember they had the 11 packs of Gammy hooks for 90 cents.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they came back and went out of business again. And that's the more recent one I'm talking about, like 3 years later. So
we had a company that had this like its own little like mom and pop's bait store. And they had made a bunch of, what they had done is they had bought a bunch of those puffy jackets from a company, and they sold 60,000 of them online. So they bought all this tackle and all this stuff. And then it was like, you could go to Bass Pro right down the street, or not right down the street, 25 minutes away. And all these people were going to Bass Pro Shops. So after like 4 years, they decided to get rid of everything. And they had everything at 90% off. And so you would get a pack of like gulps or whatever for like 61 cents. I cannot tell you the amount of money I spent on soft plastics at this place. It was several $100s. I came home with 600 different bags of soft plastics.
It's tough not to. Yeah, when you can get stuff that cheap. I remember I had like 2 bags of gammy hooks, and that's been like a lot. That was like right when I was first getting into fishing. I bought like 2 bags of stuff, and I'm like, shoot, I should have bought everything, because it's like I'm going to use them. You know, at 90 cents, you will never ever find 11 packs of gammy hooks for 90 cents. I don't know how to answer that, John.
Can I ask you a question? Because I don't know this, and I apologize. Have you been fishing?
Fake, it's real.
have you fished your whole life, or was it just over the last, when you started the channel, that you started getting into it?
No. So I grew up my whole life fishing, and then when I moved up here to college, so I grew up in a town like an hour away from here where I live, in Iowa, small town, but fished all growing up. My dad had me on the boat all the time, fished with him and his buddies all the time. And then I came up here for college and got huge into MMA, and everything, eat, breathe, sleep was MMA, go to fights, train. And I honestly just didn't really fish. Maybe once every few months I'd go out. I worked with a guy who fished the river a lot. And that was about it for a while. And then I got hurt really bad, hurt my neck to a spot where it was either I was going to need pretty significant surgery, or I pretty much stopped training and find something else to do. And then I got really depressed and, went down that road, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And then just kind of picked up fishing again out of necessity. And then it just kind of all took off from there. So
I like to hear that. I like to hear that your dad took you fishing. That's always important to me.
Lots of good memories with Pops. I need to get Pops on one time. I asked him, I'm like, Dad, people love it when if I ask everybody in the comments right now, what's my old man's favorite worm color? Soft plastic color. Let's see, I'm way behind, but I guarantee we probably already got one. Anytime I talk about Dad, it'll start popping up, because he's a legend on the channel. And I'll get him in the boat. It's funny because my old man doesn't really talk much, and he hates the whole camera thing. But I'm like, Dad, is it okay if I film you and stuff? He's like, yeah, it's fine. So I always give him crap, because growing up, Dad always pestered me and picked on me, and we would always go back and forth. Yeah, Tequila Sunrise. Look at him going through there.
Yeah.
So Dad would always give me crap. So it's funny, whenever I get him on camera, I'm always giving him crap. I'm always like, Dad, what do you think about today? And he'll be like, yeah, good day. I'm like, man, he'll talk your ear off. He's so chatty, and he'll just look at me and be like, I'm gonna slap you, boy. But I'm like, Dad, we need to get you on a live one night. Come downstairs, we'll do a live. Oh, Christ, I ain't doing that. Nobody wants to hear me talk about fishing. What the hell would I have to say? I'm like, Dad, it'd be fun. So
I have some of the funniest stories of my dad. Once I I fished when I was younger. Then, I stopped because of basketball and baseball, and then started fishing again. And then my dad always is talking about how he can outfish me and this and that. And I have some of the funniest but stupidest things that have happened with my dad, on a boat or going someplace, or losing a rod or casting behind a boat. I have all these stories, and every time I tell him, somebody tells him, oh, Steve was talking about this, and he's like, oh, that never happened. I'm like, are you joking me? Do you not remember the rod and reel that you dropped right off the bank, and it went 25 feet deep, and then you bought me a Walmart $20 rod and reel after I spent hundreds of, really probably $1,000 on a Loomis and a Shimano reel, and you bought me a $25 reel thinking it was the same thing. And he's like, oh, that didn't happen. That never happened, Steve. But I love hearing those kind of things. Thomas will have those stories with me at some point.
Yeah, we'll get Dad out again. Me, Dizzle, and Dad went out a couple times last year. Actually, we all got out together in our ice huts. But yeah, Dad and Dizzle, I ended up moving because they weren't catching. I wasn't catching fish. I don't remember. I ended up moving. Dad and Dizzle were over there talking crap about me the whole time. So it was pretty funny. I could hear Ray and Dizzle over there laughing. He likes it when he can get a dig in on old Debo. Usually I'm pretty good at getting digs in on Randy. So, it's pretty hard to beat me, Randall. I'm kidding. Right now, I guarantee he's looking at the camera going, really, Debo. All right. Well, we're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm going to be respectful of your guys' time. I can't believe we've talked this long. But for everybody who, if you don't know Mr. Bass and Steve, get your fish on. If y'all are just getting in here, where can we find you guys? Where can subscribers, people here, fishing friends, find y'all?
On YouTube, I'm Mr. Bass.
Mr. Bass, the king of unboxings, box unboxings,
Yep.
lives.
Instagram, Mr. Bass TV.
Yep, Mr. Bass TV. Look you up, and you're the same. What Mr. Bass on Instagram, right?
Right. Yep.
I don't do a lot on Instagram. I barely do Instagram. I barely do Instagram, but it's Get Your Fish on YouTube and all those other ones.
Cool.
And we have a show together on Wednesday night, 7:00 Central Time. Who we got on the show this Wednesday? We got anybody scheduled yet, Steve?
I called Kyle Welcher. I thought Kyle was supposed to be on.
Okay.
So do you guys do this on your channel, Steve, or what?
Both channels. You can go on either channel.
Yeah, we kind of just sync them with the software.
Oh, okay.
I died.
So either channel. All right. I need to be better about that because I see you guys on. I didn't know. So do you guys always have a guest, like a fishing guest? You were talking about.
We don't every week. I think there's some that were, the best way to put it is because I've been in the industry and did the radio show that I know most of the guys. Mm-hmm. So I have literally too many of them in my phone. So, and we've, over 12 years, you gain this relationship with these guys.
Right.
So a lot of times I can just call up and say, like, we had Jimmy Houston a few weeks ago. I just called up and said, hey, is there any way you can come do this? And he's like, of course. And then we've been working on, I call him Daddy, Bill Dance, for like 4 months. But it's just, he doesn't want to do it at night is the problem. So, so we got, at some point in time, we have to sit down and just film during the day and it not be live. But every now and then, like, and even with you, if there's somebody that you want, just, if there's somebody you would like on your show, by all means, just reach out. I think I gave you my phone number, and I'll give you their phone number. And
no, I would never do that.
We've had Jacob Wheeler, Hank Cherry. We've had
I don't
a
feel like
a lot of good guys.
I don't know. Yeah, I thank you for that. I will let everybody go. Yeah, Dizzle and I were just talking about this beforehand. Dizzle has almost 20 subs with no content released. Like, Dizzle, what the hell are you waiting on? Let's get some videos going, brother. All right, we're getting out of here. Steve and Mr. Bass, thank you all so much both for joining. Thank you, everybody else, for joining. Love y'all. See y'all next time. And until next live.